Forum. And then 2 days later, another 8:30 tip. Friday night, it's the Bucks and the Denver Nuggets. Nikola Jokic missed the first matchup between these two teams, but he is nearing a return. So we'll see the status of Jokic for that game later this week. But again, up next for the Bucks, the Oklahoma City Thunder, who right now are 35-8, 24 minutes away from a 36-8 start on the season. Wednesday night, 8:30 tip at Fiserv Forum. So our thanks to Dave Kane handling today's call out there in Atlanta and our team back here at the BMO Bucks Radio Network studios, our engineer Nazir Spencer and our producer Matt Yazel. I'm Justin Garcia reminding you our next broadcast is Wednesday night, late night action between the Bucks and the Oklahoma City Thunder, 8:30 tip, 8 o'clock is when our pregame coverage begins on these airwaves. We'll talk to you once again Wednesday nights with more Bucks basketball right back here on the BMO Bucks Radio Network.
We've all heard of Larry Bird. Allow us to introduce Derry Bird.
It's A.J. Green splashing a three down from the right wing on the other end of the court. It's a one-point game. Back to A.J. A.J. going to try to answer. Off-balance three, and he hits it. How did he hit that one? The Derry Bird going deep into his bag of tricks there.
We're the home of Derry Bird and the Bucks, WTMJ. Wisconsin's Afternoon News is here for you, bringing you the latest headlines with John McCure.
Let's start with violent crime in general. Significant decreases in violent crime in our city. Down, if you look at the categories, 22%.
And diving into the details with Julia Fellow.
President Trump yesterday just announced his own plan to help Americans pay for health insurance.
Tune in to Wisconsin's Afternoon News, where your day's story unfolds. Weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. Only here on WTMJ. Trusted, relevant, locally owned, locally programmed. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ Milwaukee.
At 5 after 3, I'm Greg Matzek. This is Wisconsin's Afternoon News for Monday, January 19th. Your top story, a court ruling in favor of ICE protesters.
I'm Jessica Tighe. A high-speed chase in Fond du Lac.
I'm Debbie Laziga. For the most part, looking pretty good. We do have some delays westbound 94, just west of 27th Street all the way to Mitchell Boulevard. The eastbound side is tightening up a bit from 76th Street to Hawley Road. Other than that, we're looking pretty good. Just a few broken down vehicles here and there, but they're all out of traffic. I'm Debbie Laziga with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
Sun is shining, bitter cold, however. It's 3 degrees and sunny right now. Wind gusts up to 25 miles an hour. Overnight, 10 to 15 below zero with the wind chill. Tuesday, sunny with a high of 16. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, a federal judge ruling that immigration officers in Minnesota cannot detain or tear gas peaceful protesters who are not obstructing authorities, including if they are observing agents. Loyola law professor Lori Levinson.
The order says very clearly that the ICE agents cannot stop or detain drivers and passengers in vehicles where there's no reasonable articulable suspicion to do so.
Government attorneys have argued that the officers are acting within their legal authority to enforce immigration laws and protect themselves.
Norway and Finland are joining the chorus of European nations pushing back on President Trump's attempt to acquire Greenland. ABC's Karen Travers with the update.
He is still saying that in his view, this is a national security issue for the United States. But it was really extraordinary to see the president put it in writing to the leaders of Norway and Finland that he is upset about not winning the Nobel Peace Prize and that he is factoring that potentially into this calculation for acquiring Greenland. Now, of course, it is not the government of Norway that awards the Nobel Peace Prize, something that the leader there made very clear, saying it is the Independent Nobel Committee, not the Norwegian government.
President Trump is also threatening additional tariffs of 10% against 8 NATO allies who oppose his plan.
Stock futures in European markets trading down as President Trump plans to impose a 10% tariff on Denmark and its allies as he ramps up the pressure to acquire Greenland. Annex Wealth Management Chief Economic Strategist Brian Jacobson on WTMJ.
So it's not like it's a really, I think, an existential threat to the markets, but it is not exactly a vote of confidence that this is a good idea to use the tariffs.
The president says the tariffs would go into effect February 1st if a deal to buy Greenland is not reached.
5 people are in custody after a high-speed pursuit in Fond du Lac that lasted more than 20 minutes.
Sheriff's deputies tried to stop a vehicle with license plates that didn't belong to it in the township of Lamartine on Sunday. The car fled for over 24 miles, at times making U-turns to avoid spike strips and driving head-on towards deputies. It then tried to hide near a farmstead. Deputies found marijuana, alcohol, and a gun. The driver, a 20-year-old man from Black Creek, faces multiple felonies, including recklessly endangering safety and fleeing law enforcement. The 4 passengers, all under 21 years old, were cited for underage possession of alcohol and drugs. Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
A man from Bayside faces federal cyberstalking charges after allegedly causing 2 people to fear for their life. 41-year-old Bradley Rose accused of using Apple iMessages to threaten 2 people across interstate lines, including photos of hands holding guns, causing emotional stress. Dating back to May of 2022, Rose has pled not guilty to charges. If convicted, he faces up to 5 years in prison.
A Milwaukee arts and culture staple gets a major upgrade with a new home. After more than 4 decades in River West, Woodland Pattern is moving to the former bindery space in Bayview. Co-executive director Laura Solomon tells WTMJ the nonprofit has long outgrown its space on Locust Street.
For one thing, Woodland Pattern is a lot bigger of an organization than it was when it started. Even since we've gotten here, it was 5 employees in 2017, about 350 programs. We're now 8.5 employees and 500 programs.
The new home in Bayview also gives Woodland Pattern wheelchair accessibility.
Community members and local leaders celebrating the life and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. today. Milwaukee County Executive David Crowley.
And as we honor Dr. King, let us recommit ourselves to carrying out his important work. May we choose compassion over division, equity over indifference, and community over isolation.
City Year Milwaukee hosting its annual MLK Day of Service at Humboldt Park School. Many others gathered for an event at the MLK Community Center, which is celebrating its 50th anniversary.
Coming up, an afternoon win in Atlanta for the Bucks. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 3:10.
Traffic is sponsored by Rejuvenix Arthritis Pain Clinics. Go to rejuvenix.com for an appointment.
Go to rejuvenix.com to request your appointment.
Who doesn't need a seasonal wardrobe update? But who has the cash to always keep their wardrobe updated? Ladies, that's why you shop St. Vincent de Paul. Our women's clothing is always a highlight of our stores, and thrift store prices keep the costs low. It allows you to experiment and also find a hidden gem. St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
No matter how many people are in your family, buying new jackets for the cold weather months can be expensive. But when you shop St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores, prices on cold weather jackets will give you a sigh of relief because thrift store prices mean great deals. And right now we have a great selection. Find great deals on cold weather jackets for the family at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
Time for WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. Afternoon basketball in Atlanta. The Bucks take down the Hawks 112-110, 21 points for Giannis. Giannis named an All-Star starter for the 10th consecutive year. College basketball tonight. Marquette takes on Providence in Big East action. Hear the game on 94.5 ESPN at 5 o'clock. And college football crowns a national champion tonight in Miami with the Miami Hurricanes taking on the Indiana Hoosiers.
You've spent a lifetime taking care of others. Now it's your turn to enjoy life your way. At Capri Communities, they offer vibrant senior living where neighbors become friends, and each day brings something to smile about.
Well, it's breakfast with the boys, and then bingo is at 3 in the afternoon. I lost that super lady I lived with for 60 years, but have found a home and doing well. The accommodations, the facilities, it's been a pleasure.
Find your perfect new home at capricommunities.com.
Wisconsin's afternoon news is on the air, broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue in beautiful downtown Milwaukee. Now, here are your hosts, Greg Matzek and Jessica Tighe.
Well, they let us sleep in a little bit. Greg and Jessica with you until 6 o'clock. I'll have to get used to saying Wisconsin's afternoon news and not midday news. I actually did a little bit. It was kind of nice. Long weekend, ice skating at the Pettit for 90 minutes yesterday with my daughters was a blast. Just amazing to me that we have Olympic caliber ice right here, like 10 minutes from our studios. I'd never want to take that for granted. What a cool place the Pettit Center is.
Just fantastic. I'll tell you what, I would have liked to sleep in, but that wind, the wicked wind here in Wisconsin this morning, woke me right up.
Among our big stories today.
This is the 3 at 3 on Wisconsin's afternoon news.
Number 1, the search is ramping up on this MLK Day for the man who opened fire inside an iconic restaurant in New Orleans, a restaurant connected to Martin Luther King Jr. The shooting happened Friday night at Dookie Che's. That restaurant has been a mainstay in the Treme section of New Orleans for more than 70 years. One person was killed, 3 tourists were hurt, 1 critically. Police are now appealing to the public for help. New Orleans Police Superintendent Ann Kirkpatrick on the significance of this restaurant.
MLK, Martin Luther King Jr. himself used to gather upstairs in that restaurant to do peaceful marching, and what an incredible, unfortunate event for this weekend for that to have occurred.
The 19-year-old who was killed is a young man by the name of Kareem Harris. Investigators say he was the target. He was being shot at and ran into that restaurant to get away. Right now, police are studying security video from nearby businesses as they try to identify a suspect.
Number 2, Matt LaFleur staying in Green Bay after days of negotiations. The Packers and LaFleur agreed to a multi-year contract extension. He's led the Packers to the playoffs in 6 of his 7 seasons in Green Bay, but the team has lost in the wild card round each of the last 2 years. Still, the Packers are opting for stability over everything else. Terms of LaFleur's deal have not been disclosed.
Number 3, scientists say our planet is about to get hit by a severe geomagnetic storm. Now, I know that sounds intense, and it does have consequences, but for most of us, it just means a pretty great light show.
A massive burst of charged particles embedded in a magnetic field is moving through space right now toward Earth, and it's expected to be here by Tuesday, according to NOAA. It predicts it could produce a strong or severe geomagnetic storm that can mess with power systems, spacecraft, radio frequencies, and satellite navigation. But it can also create the northern lights, which with this event could be seen as far south as Northern California and even Alabama, if everything were to line up just right. Alex Stone, EBC News.
24 states, including Wisconsin, could see the northern lights. But here's the thing. We need the weather to cooperate.
Of course.
Cloudy skies tonight will not do the trick, but we're in for sun tomorrow, and they're suggesting the lights will be visible tonight through tomorrow. We got a new moon last night, so the sky will be dark. That's good. So if the clouds stay away, the lights could be impressive.
I will never pretend to understand how any of this stuff works. It's fascinating to me. This entire world of outer space and how things move and why gravity is a thing on Earth, and I just don't get it. It's just fascinating stuff to me.
We've got some awesome light shows recently here, so I don't know. We'll see. I'm not feeling good about this one, thanks to Mother Nature, but fingers crossed. Always keep the faith. Coming up, a Milwaukee Designers' big NBA break.
Hey, John Mercure here for Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living. Their mission is to transform the culture of care. They specialize in caring for those with early to late-stage Alzheimer's or other related dementia symptoms, and they offer early memory loss classes to help you. They specialize in this area. It's kindness at the core, locations throughout southeast Wisconsin. It's compassion, it's empathy. It's Wisconsin-based and family-owned, always welcoming people to come tour and welcome their new residents. I've seen their places. They're top-notch. It's Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living.
Accunet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
This is Brian Wickert with my son David, president of Accunet. David, we're pre-approving a lot of home shoppers this time of year. Why should someone choose Accunet for their pre-approval?
Dad, getting pre-approved with just any lender is like showing up to a first date in sweatpants. Sure, you're there, but are you really ready to impress? Our rock-solid pre-approval is like showing up in your best outfit with reservations already made. We also have an excellent reputation among real estate agents, so having Accunet's name on your pre-approval can make the difference.
What else?
In addition to clearly stating we verified your credit, income, and down payment, we'll also run the specific home you're looking to buy through our underwriting software to see if we can approve your loan without an appraisal, which sellers and their agents absolutely love. Bottom line, we do everything possible to help you win.
Thanks, David. Don't settle for anything less. Get started with your rock solid pre-approval by clicking on the blue button today at Accunet.com. That's ACCUNET.com.
Traffic sponsored by Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center in Waukesha. Whatever the weather, visit WisconsinIndoorGolfCenter.com.
Tee off the new year with a two-man scramble at Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center. Play the legendary Kapalua Plantation course on their state-of-the-art simulators. Sign up now to win cash prizes. Must play by January 31st.
Traffic and weather. Let's check in with Deb. Hey, Deb.
Hey there. Looks like we've got some delays on southbound 94 right at the collector ramp at the airport. The right shoulder is blocked with an incident. So I think it's a violator that they pulled over. Another incident on 894 eastbound right around 76th Street off on the right shoulder. Both of these areas starting to see some bunching, but overall not too bad heading through the area. We do have delays westbound 94 from 35th Street to Mitchell Boulevard. The eastbound side's backing up basically from 76th Street all the way to Hawley Road. Otherwise, we've got just broken down vehicles pretty much everywhere, and one crash on the off-ramp to Moreland Road from westbound 94. That ramp right now is closed. I'm Debbie Lazigo with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
Well, bitter cold throughout the week here and a high of just 3 degrees. We are at that high right now, as a matter of fact. Overnight lows should dip around zero with that wind chill of 5 to 15 below zero. Tomorrow's high, 11 degrees. Wind chills once again taking us below zero. 3 degrees and sunny in Milwaukee at 319.
A local designer here in Milwaukee just got a call that many small business owners only dream about. The Milwaukee Bucks reached out with an idea. Let's collaborate. The result? His brand, Lost Files, ended up inside the Bucks Pro Shop and even on the team's official online store. The founder of Lost Files, Esteban Longoria, joins us live in the studio to explain how a collab with the Bucks works and what it's meant for his business. Thanks so much for being here. First, can you take us to that moment when the Bucks reach out? How did they learn about you, and what were you thinking when they called?
So I've actually been trying to set this up for like 3 years now. So it's been a long time coming, but they initially reached out on LinkedIn. They got a hold of me there, and we kind of took it from there.
So the Bucks have always been, I think, under new ownership, really committed to local, anything local, right? They want to highlight and showcase local artists, local anything, local food at Fiserv Forum. I'm sure you're aware of that as you make that reach out, but how does it start? How do you get your work in front of them to the point where you're actually on the phone or in person collaborating on what your future ideas will be?
So I think it's had to start with us building a good base and like looking like an actual business. From there, you can kind of show them almost like proof of concept a bit, and then, they kind of make their decision from there.
Okay, so we have some awesome pictures, too, that you put on your social media feeds. We've got some pictures from your Instagram that really show this collab in full. And actually, you're wearing one of the pieces, too, for people streaming right now. Can you take us into this collaboration with the Bucks? How does it work from the idea to the finished project? Because I imagine there are a lot of steps to it.
Yeah, so we started the process. I mean, they initially reached out last November. So it was like 13 months in total of, kind of working through different designs and everything. But I mean, the first step was figuring out like what we really wanted, and they kind of like let me have a lot of creative freedom in, creating all the designs because they loved what Lost Files was and like the direction we were going with everything.
So what is that brand identity all about, Lost Files? What does that mean? What does that mean to you? What should that mean to our fans and listeners who are unaware of what it is that you do?
So I like to call it Midwest streetwear. So I think like, I wouldn't say my background, but I got into clothes through streetwear. So I kind of wanted to bring over those same concepts, but mix in a lot of what was more natural to me and like people around me, which was just being from the Midwest. So incorporating that, within our designs, our color schemes, and just a lot of the stuff we do in like different types of branding.
So you mentioned that you had a lot of creative control with this Bucks collab. What did you have to at some point, though, sit down with them and say, here's my design? And did they give you any hints or say, can we tweak this a little bit? Kind of let us dive into that world a little bit more.
Yeah, so we actually went through like 3 completely different like design concepts. So it wasn't, I didn't get the green light right away. So we did one that we kind of had to, do a big revision on, and did another that had to have a big revision. And then that last one was essentially completely different than the previous 2. So, But I'm glad we landed on what we did because that one felt like the most, just the perfect mesh of both Lost Files and the Milwaukee Bucks.
You know, and it's a trick, right? Because you've got your brand identity and brand guidelines, and so do the Bucks, right?
Yeah.
So, and they're very different, I'm sure. So meshing those, it does take some rounds of revision, right?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, it was, again, like that last one, like felt perfect. Like, okay, this is the one that meshes those the best, and like with just from everything, from the graphics, the colors, the font types, and everything like that, and just even the assortment of pieces. Like that one felt the best mesh of both of those.
It felt perfect. That
Yeah.
sounds amazing, right?
Yeah.
Because this is something with, and take me back to this, but wasn't it you and your brother who were chatting initially years ago when you
Yeah.
started this company about if only we could collab with this group, that it would be the Bucks?
Yeah. So when we like initially started it, we always talk about collaborating because that's huge in the streetwear space. So like we thought of, who is the most realistic collaboration we could get that would like mean the most to us and just be the best fit for us. And I think it was like easily the Milwaukee Bucks, since we're like huge Bucks fans, but they had the Bucks and Six line that was kind of just starting up at the time that we were getting going as well. And we were like, man, that would be perfect if we were able to do a collection with them. And some years down the line, that ended up happening.
So how do you describe the collection? And for people who aren't streaming right now, can you tell us about some of the pieces?
Yeah, so it was 4 pieces in total. It was a green corduroy hat, and again, I think like the material of that hat just it fits perfectly. Like it's green corduroy. It's like a thick material. It's not like a regular canvas hat that you would typically find. It just feels more Midwest. And then we did 3 tops. So it was a cream T-shirt with a Deer in the Woods graphic. It was a green pullover hoodie with a cool Bucks logo on the front with a larger graphic on the back. And then finally the knitwear so this is one that this is not the Bucks one, but the Bucks one is very similar to this because this one did so well for us. And again, just being able to mesh those two, that was like the perfect final piece for that collection.
You got that cream city sort of color going on with it, right?
Yep.
And it blend
Yeah.
into the green. And the Bucks kind of go off kilter a little bit. Some of those blues. Did you kind of stay away from that part of the color scheme because it maybe didn't fit what you typically do?
So it was funny. In the beginning, I was trying to get some of the like vintage red and green, like from the 70s, because they gave me their entire like brand asset guide, and I had a ton of fun just going through that. And seeing all that stuff. But at the end, we settled on like the brown, the green, and the cream, like those being the main colors of the collection. And again, like I said, like those were a perfect mix of what we do and stuff we would just release by ourselves. And, obviously their brand colors as well.
A really cool photo shoot that you had to kind of promote these pieces as well. Looked like it was out in the woods and the snow had fallen. Did you do that yourself, or did the Bucks have anything to do with snapping those shots?
Yeah, that was all them. It was so cool because it snowed like the day before that photo shoot took place, and it was perfect. It worked out so cool. I was telling them like that photo shoot was amazing.
All right, so my favorite logo of the Milwaukee Bucks is Bango wearing a sweater, twiddling a ball on his hoof, I guess.
Yeah.
That's the right word. I would love to see Bango wearing one of your sweaters in that, right?
Right.
This seems to be a perfect match.
Yeah, I mean, so that was like the first set of logos that we toyed with, was like that 70s Bango with the bee sweater. Those are really cool. We just didn't that didn't end up making it to the final production.
So what kind of impact did this collaboration with the Bucks have on your business?
I mean, it was huge. So what's cool is, we collaborated with the Bucks in December, and then in the summer we actually did a T-shirt giveaway with the Brewers as well. So this year alone has we've 5x'd our orders from Wisconsin, compared to any other year we've had before. So it's been so cool just to see all those orders come in from people around here. People we have before this, a lot of our customers were from the East Coast, and now we've seen like a huge majority of our customers now come from the Midwest, which is so cool.
That is fascinating.
What's next?
Yeah, so I mean, I guess we'll see, but right now,
is there another collab you would like? Now that you
Yeah.
got the Bucks one, I mean, you had the Bucks up on top. Like, this is the one we would really want. Well, you got it.
Yeah, I mean, it did really well. So hopefully they ask for me back again, because that would be cool. I'd love to do it again because this one did do so well. But I mean, we'll see. I don't really have any I wouldn't say I don't have goals, but I mean, we'll see where it takes us.
Estevan Longoria, founder of Lost Files, just did an awesome collab with the Milwaukee Bucks. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you, guys.
Time right now is 3:27.
It's WTMJ's Julia Fellow for Sweet Talks Medical Spa in Menominee Falls. If you're looking for expert care without that cold clinical vibe, Sweet Talks is where beauty, wellness, and self-confidence comes together in such a fun, welcoming space. Sweet Talks offers injectables, advanced skin treatments, even wellness services like weight loss or hormone optimization. Sweet Talks provides a comprehensive consultation designed just for you. Learn more at sweettalks.com.
When your car or truck needs service, you should take it to a specialist. I'm Deb Cruz, president of the Auto Dealers Association of Mega Milwaukee. Adam member new car dealers have factory warranted parts, the latest diagnostic equipment, and certified manufacturer technicians. Plus, their prices are low or lower than independent shops, even on routine things like oil changes and tire service. Knowing all that, why would you ever consider going anywhere other than an Adam member dealer?
Sun, 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 fun, 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 sun, sun, sun.
Boaters, this is your show, the Milwaukee Boat Show at State Fair Park. Over 300 boats, family runabouts, ski and surf boats, luxury pontoons, more Lake Michigan boats than ever. Tierra, Beneteau, Pursuit, Cruisers, Sea Ray, Boston Whaler, and more. Get that boat and get that deal. See the all-new bumper boats for kids. Second weekend only. Check MilwaukeeBoatShow.com January 16th through 25th.
Hey, this is WTMJ Steve Scaffidi. Have you listened to WTMJ Outdoors yet? Well, what are you waiting for? Every Saturday at 2 right here on 620 WTMJ. Stories of the outdoors in Wisconsin and beyond as we celebrate everything in recreation. We celebrate the best of Wisconsin outdoors, from hunting to fishing, rock climbing, ATVs, everything outdoors. The best of Wisconsin on WTMJ Outdoors.
It's WTMJ Outdoors, presented by Outdoor Living Unlimited.
There's a lot of noise coming out of Washington these days, but one thing retirees in Wisconsin can't afford to ignore is the new Big Beautiful Bill. Sounds harmless, right? But here's the truth. The changes buried in this bill could have a serious impact on your retirement. At Drake & Associates, we've dug into the details, and we want to make sure you know what's really at stake. The Big Beautiful Bill includes sweeping updates to tax brackets, Social Security thresholds, Medicare premiums, and retirement account rules. And for many retirees, it could mean higher taxes on your savings, more limits on deductions, and unexpected changes to your income plan. Maybe you're already retired, or maybe you're just a few years away. Either way, what you don't know could cost you thousands. That's why we're offering Wisconsin residents a free educational guide to help you understand how the new bill may impact retirees and questions to discuss with your trusted financial advisor. Just text the word tax to 414-897-9522. That's tax, T-A-X, to 414-897-9522. You'll get immediate access to expert insights from the team at Drake & Associates, retirement planners who have been serving Wisconsin for over 20 years. We focus on tax-efficient retirement planning, helping you keep more of your money, avoiding surprises, and staying ahead of the curve no matter what Congress throws your way. So before the Big Beautiful Bill takes a bite out of your hard-earned savings, let's make sure your plan is designed to help prepare for uncertainty. Text TAX to 414-897-9522. That's TAX to 414-897-9522. Drake & Associates, helping build retirement confidence right here in Wisconsin.
Drake & Associates LLC is an independent investment advisory firm that offers a variety of different investment vehicles. This commercial is provided for informational purposes only and should not be construed as individual investment advice. Drake & Associates LLC does not provide legal or tax advice. Past performance is not indicative of future performance.
Hey, John Mercure here for Mend Studios. You deserve to feel better. You deserve to feel healthy. You deserve to feel great about yourself. Mend Studios has a long-term wellness as the goal. That's how they're going to do it. That's how they're going to take care of you. I know and trust the therapists at Mend Studio. They customize every single treatment, and they've got multiple locations. They're in Mequon and Brookfield, both convenient, both easy to get to. Start at the website, mendstudio.com. I never feel better than I do after a session at Mend. Mendstudio.com.
Put a little wow in your winter at the 31st Annual Lake Geneva Winterfest and America's Snow Sculpting Invitational, January 28th through February 1st. Watch 15 top teams create breathtaking masterpieces in snow right before your very eyes. Enjoy bonfires on the beach, a kids' play area, live entertainment, and a sparkling downtown ice sculpture walk. Plan your Winterfest getaway at visitlakeggeneva.com. Lake Geneva, where it's always been the place for winter magic.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on Wisconsin's radio station, News Radio WTMJ.
I'm Greg Matzek. Your top story: a suspect on the run after shooting an Indiana judge.
I'm Jessica Tighe. Another setback for a food desert in Milwaukee.
I'm Debbie Lazaga. We do have an accident on the off-ramp from westbound 94 to Moreland Road. So heads up with that. And we've also got the Moreland Road on-ramp to westbound 94 also closed because of that. So now we've got big delays. First of all, your usual delays from 35th Street to Mitchell Boulevard. Then back on the brakes just before the county line all the way to Moreland Road. Eastbound's backed up from about Brookfield Road all the way past Moreland Road. More regular delays from about 84th Street to Hawley Road. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
Bitter cold today and tonight. Wind gusts up to 25 miles an hour. Wind chill 10 to 15 below. Tuesday, mostly sunny and a high of 16. It's 3 degrees in Milwaukee at 3:33. From the WTMJ breaking newsroom, an urgent manhunt underway in Lafayette, Indiana, in the shooting of a judge and his wife.
Judge Stephen Meyer and his wife Kimberly were at home in Tippecanoe County, Indiana, when they were shot on Sunday. He was shot in the arm. She was shot in the hip. Both are stable now, and shell casings were found on scene, according to police. The mayor of Lafayette, Indiana, says all resources are being used to find the suspect, and judges statewide are being told to remain vigilant as the shooter is at large. Numerous agencies, including the FBI, are trying to identify the shooter. Alex Stone, EBC News.
A former treasurer for an American Legion post in Brookfield is facing felony charges.
Court records show 72-year-old Darlene Baychek is charged with felony theft in a business setting involving more than $10,000 and felony identity theft to obtain money or credit. Prosecutors say she took more than $46,000 from American Legion Post 449 between 2018 and 2024 through unauthorized withdrawals and checks. A judge set a $5,000 signature bond for her release. Her next court appearance is February 13th. Nazir Spencer, WTMJ News.
Well, another grocery store is leaving the northwest side of Milwaukee. Century Foods near 64th and Silver Spring will close this week after the store opened less than 3 years ago to fill a food desert. This comes after an Aldi store closed just 2 miles away last week, and Sherman Park Grocery is struggling to stay open about 4 miles away. The closures mean the closest major grocery store for thousands of Milwaukee residents will be an hour-long walk or 30-minute bus ride away.
Question for you this afternoon. Who's actually paying for President Trump's tariffs?
While the administration says other countries are the ones footing the bill, researchers from the Kiel Institute for the World Economy in Germany found Americans covered 96% of the tariff burden, while foreign exporters absorbed only about 4%. And they say the impact will become even more apparent over time. Companies will have shrinking margins, consumers will pay higher prices, and foreign countries will sell less stuff to the U.S. Stacey Lynn, CBS News.
Increasing awareness about human trafficking and how to combat it.
2 years ago, the DOJ introduced the Wisconsin Anti-Human Trafficking Task Force, which aims to investigate cases statewide and support survivors. In 2024, there were over 100 human trafficking cases reported in Wisconsin, a majority of them involving sex trafficking of adult women. Wisconsin Attorney General Josh Kaul says if you suspect trafficking, document as much information as possible and contact law enforcement immediately. As part of Human Trafficking Prevention Month, the task force is hosting several webinars this week to connect survivors with resources. Neil Doyle, WTMJ News.
The Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Community Center here in Milwaukee is celebrating MLK Day.
Members of the Milwaukee community singing, dancing, and celebrating the life and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
I know the shoulders of giants that I stand on every single day.
Milwaukee County Executive David Crowley tells WTMJ.
On this cold day, it's definitely warmed my heart, seeing how the young people have stepped up, embodying Dr. King's dream, but just putting it into their own words and what that looks like for them and their future.
Today is also a celebration of the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Community Center's 50th anniversary. Elizabeth Linton in WTMJ News.
Time for WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. The Bucks hold off the hard-charging Hawks 112-110 in Atlanta. 21 points for Giannis, 18 for A.J. Green. Giannis named an All-Star game starter for the 10th consecutive year. College basketball tonight, Marquette takes on Providence in Big East play. Hear the game on 94.5 ESPN at 5 o'clock. And college football, the crowning of a national champion tonight in Miami with the Hurricanes taking on the Indiana Hoosiers.
Up next, Packers coach Matt LaFleur gets his contract extension. How do you feel about it? Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is coming up on 3:38.
Annex Wealth Management's education continues in 2026 to help you stay informed. Midterm elections, AI, a new Fed chair. Join Annex Wealth Management CEO Dave Spano and Chief Economic Strategist Dr. Brian Jacobson as they review key data points Thursday, January 21st at the Pfister.
2026 is shaping up to be a year like no other. The question is, how will it affect your financial plan?
That's exactly what we'll cover with Navigating the Markets 2026 and beyond. We'll dig into the data and talk about adjustments you might want to make.
Join us January 21st at noon at the Pfister Hotel Ballroom in Milwaukee. It's a great chance to get clarity on what these changes mean for you.
Space is limited, so reserve your spot today at annexwealth.com. That's annexwealth.com.
We're looking forward to seeing you navigating the markets 2026 and beyond. That's January 21st at the Pfister with Annex Wealth Management.
Education changes everything. It opens doors, shapes futures, and builds the foundation for our children's success. At City Forward Collective, we're working to transform our city's schools and ensure every Milwaukee child receives the high-quality education they deserve. We've taken real steps forward, but our work is far from done. This giving season, we're asking you to join us. Together, we can secure a stronger future for our children and a stronger future for Milwaukee. To support our mission, visit cityforwardcollective.org/donate. That's cityforwardcollective.org/donate.
Why DIY your frozen pizza toppings when Screamin' Sicilian already went over the top for you? We're talking whole milk mozzarella, heaps of premium meats, a mountain of veggies. Screamin' Sicilian is frozen pizza stacked, no add-ons needed. Mamma mia! Screamin' Sicilian, so loaded with toppings, it's almost cheating. Find Screamin' Sicilian in your local grocer's freezer section and taste what all the screamin' is about.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on WTMJ.
Greg and Jessica in for John and Julia. It's 3:40-ish. On a Monday, we welcome in Telly Hughes, Emmy Award-winning journalist. Always good to connect with Telly. Telly, we you off the ski slopes today? You out there enjoying the winter weather?
Absolutely not.
No.
This is way too cold to be enjoying anything.
And you're probably thinking, I wish, right? Because you're recovering from surgery, Telly.
Yes, absolutely. I had to have a procedure done back a couple of weeks ago. And so, yes, this is definitely a good time to be recovering because even if I wasn't recovering, I wouldn't be outside.
Well, you can watch some college football tonight. We'll talk more about that with
Go
Jessica,
IU.
a proud IU alum. And you can also do a little scrolling on Twitter to see the reaction of Packers fans after Matt LaFleur and the team announced his contract is signing. Now, it hasn't been officially announced by the team, so we don't know exactly the terms and the money, but it's pretty clear, based upon all reporting, Telly, that this is not just a one-year prove-yourself contract extension with a new president. Your thoughts on the calculus here behind signing Matt LaFleur to a multi-year extension?
I thought, why rush it? I think that the jury is still out amongst a lot of Packers fans about how they feel about Matt LaFleur and if he's the guy that can get them to a Super Bowl and ultimately a Super Bowl championship. But I always, it's funny to me because every other job in the world or in this country, if you're on the last year of your contract, you play it out. You have to work it out. It's not your contract ends the year before it ends, you still have a year left. And I didn't see why not have him coach next year and kind of a prove it type of year, besides trying to give him a prove it type of deal. I mean, and I also, there are some red flags about the amount of time it has taken and why that it still hasn't been officially announced. I mean, what are the details? Are they giving him a contract with confidence, saying that, okay, you're our guy for the next 2 or 3 or X amount of years? Or are they saying, well, we're going to go into this hoping to have a really good buyout plan if it comes out to that? So, I mean, and how much money will we owe? So I think when you have so much time elapse, and because if they want you, they'll get a deal done as quickly as possible. Guess what? If the Giants offered him a contract before the Packers did, I think that would have made them more motivated to move quickly and more swiftly than they have been. So I think there are some things to be said about that that's not being said.
Telly, how much did Jordan Love's development factor into this extension, do you think?
I believe that Ed Policy and Brian Gutekunst, who is also looking for an extension, I believe that the players and the way that they have spoken about Matt LaFleur, I think has gone a long way. Because if he was a coach that had the season that he had, but the players really weren't trying to play for him, or they felt like they needed a new voice, then it'll be a different story. But when you have superstars like Michael Parsons and Jordan Love that's coming to the defense and telling the organization why they should keep Matt LaFleur, I think that bodes well. So, yes, the development, but also I think that development amongst the relationships he has built amongst his players has made it more favorable for Matt LaFleur.
It's kind of interesting. You know, it talks of the extension come just a little before the Bills fire their head coach, Sean McDermott, fired from Buffalo. Similar qualities here. Really good in the regular season. Both McDermott and LaFleur both have fallen a little short in the playoffs, with the Love era specifically with LaFleur, back-to-back wild card losses. And McDermott, they've got a history of winning their division. That fell a little short this year, but pretty similar storylines here, but one's looking for a job and one has job security for the long term.
Yes, and the one that just got fired today, I felt like was kind of a surprise, but then again, this day and age, it's not as shocking as it would be, I guess, a while back. Meaning, I mean, coaches that have been there a long time, they usually get the benefit of the doubt. But I guess the Bills organization felt like many other people, and this was their year. And, I mean, you didn't have the Ravens and Lamar Jackson. You didn't have Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs waiting on you. You didn't have to go through your normal route to get to a Super Bowl, and you're still unable to do it. I mean, keep in mind, Denver was the number one seed in the AFC. So it wasn't like they lost to a bad team, and they were one controversial call away from winning that game. So when you look at it from those terms, I think it was kind of like what happened with John Harbaugh in Baltimore, and that is maybe the organization was just looking for a reason to fire that coach, and that loss was, I guess they felt like the straw that broke the camel's back.
Telly, one more quick question about LaFleur, because it was interesting over the weekend. I posted this to my professional social media, and on Facebook, it was wild to see some of the comments that were coming in. Some very well thought. A lot of people just unhappy, too. One person said, did Policy hire a coach for the fourth quarter? And that made me just think about, I mean, some changes need to be made, right? Okay, so we know LaFleur is coming back, but we want to go further into the season. We want to go deeper into the playoffs, hopefully go to the Super Bowl, hopefully win a Super Bowl. So what changes do you think need to be made to the team now that we know LaFleur's our guy?
I also that's a great question, Jessica, because one of the things I know they would definitely need to do is make sure they retain their defensive coordinator, Hafley. That is a must because that side of the ball has performed well. And then you didn't have a full season / training camp with Micah Parsons. Now, I mean, his season is going to be interrupted next year as well. But I think changes in the special teams, that's always seemed to be something that plagues the Packers at one point or another in almost every season. So you got to find a way to shore up your special teams, get a more reliable kicker. I think since Mason Crosby, it's been kind of a, rotating position there. But I think those are two things that you have to address. And I mean, you're going to lose some pieces on the offensive side of the ball. I mean, Romeo Dobbs doesn't seem like, if he tests the free agent market, he's going to probably get more money elsewhere that the Packers can pay him. So I think that you find a way to replace some of the pieces that you're going to miss and get some depth. Get some depth at the tight end position. Get some depth with the offensive linemen because every year the Packers have at least 5 linemen that go down at one point in the season. And most of the time in recent seasons, they've all gone down at the same time. So I think that you got to find depth in those spots on your roster.
Always good to check in with Telly Hughes. Telly, we appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of your day. We'll check in again soon.
Okay, you guys as well.
You bet. It's 3:48 on WTMJ. Coming up next, we check in with ABC's Alex Stone. A wild youth sporting event broke out in a major brawl over the weekend. Alex with the details after this.
Without an Advent clinic nearby, people suffering needlessly from chronic nasal congestion and sinus infections would be stuck with either Band-Aid or Sledgehammer solutions. Band-Aids are pills or nasal sprays, and they're not true solutions. Surgery is a sledgehammer, and that's what we're trying to avoid. Because most people don't need surgery for nose and sinus issues, nor do they want a 14-day recovery. Our unique Advent approach can, in 20 minutes in our office, open your blocked nose for good, with only 1-day recovery. I'm Advent founder Dr. Kandula. Outside of Advent's 4 walls, invasive surgery is what they'll recommend. But here you will find effective and convenient in-office solutions to help you stop the need for Band-Aids and avoid the sledgehammer.
Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better. Most insurance accepted.
Hey everybody, Debbie Lazaga here for Milwaukee Weight Loss Program. You know, their program has been able to change the lives of thousands of people with the incredible Metabolic Reset program. They know the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day with no exercising, no prepackaged meals, no counting points or calories, no drugs, no surgery, no injections with the risk of serious side effects. There's no better time than now to give yourself that gift of a new you this year. And you can schedule your consultation right now by visiting MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. Kind of like what I did. I'm making headway. Things are happening. I'm starting to lose some weight, and many patients lose 20 to 30 pounds in about a month or two. Call for your free weight loss consultation. 262-449-1180. That's 262-449-1180, or online at MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. That's MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com.
My doctor told me my cholesterol is borderline, so I took control with Garlic Healthy Cholesterol Formula. Garlic helps maintain healthy cholesterol safely and naturally. It's odor and taste-free, and Garlic is a world leader in garlic potency. I'm taking charge of my cholesterol with Garlic Healthy Cholesterol Formula, cholesterol's natural enemy.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. The term natural references only the garlic in the product. Use as directed.
Are you 50 or older? This news is for you. The CDC recommends you get vaccinated against pneumococcal pneumonia. Even if you're healthy, your age puts you at risk. People 50 or older are over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia compared to adults 18 to 49. Just one shot can help protect you. Learn more and schedule at vaxassist.com. That's VAXassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Traffic Report is sponsored by Marty's Pizza in Delafield.
Remember, Marty's Pizza.
Right off I-94 and Highway 83 in Delafield.
Let's check in again with Deb.
Okay, we got some backups and some problems. Right around Moreland Road, westbound's off-ramp to Moreland Road is closed, as is the on-ramp closed because of a crash. So things are really backing up. We've got backups all the way back almost to Highway 100. So be careful with that. On the eastbound side, things are slowing down before Brookfield Road all the way past Moreland Road. Back on the brakes from 84th Street to about Hawley Road. Oh, we also have westbound delays from 35th Street to Mitchell Boulevard. The other heavy spot's going to be on the bypass, heading southbound from Beloit Road down and around the Hale interchange all the way to 76th. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
Bitter cold snap here for really the rest of the week. Today's high 16 degrees, but it'll never feel like that. Overnight low -2, 2 below zero with the wind chill 5 to 15 below. Tomorrow's high 14 degrees. Should see a little bit of sun, warming up to 23 on Wednesday, but again, wind chills overnight below zero. It's 3 degrees and sunny in Milwaukee at 3:52. Greg and Jessica with you until 6 o'clock, Wisconsin's afternoon news on WTMJ. So a massive brawl involving about 100 people, including kids, parents, you name it.
Spectators, it was wild.
During a youth football tournament at the Arizona Athletic Grounds. So while you were maybe watching some football on Sunday, this was happening out in Arizona. This is kids football here, 7-on-7 flag football, and everything went haywire. ABC's Alex Stone covering. Hi, Alex.
Hey there, guys. Yeah, this is, we've heard it over and over again where parents get out of control. And if you've got kids who play sports, maybe you've done it, not out of control, but you've made a comment or two, or you've heard other parents do it where you think, oh, no, and now a lot of leagues will penalize the parents by penalizing their kid, or the coach will get kicked out if a parent makes a comment. But so yesterday there was this large football tournament underway in Mesa, right outside of Phoenix, and police say a couple of kids, they began fighting, and then the parents jumped in, and it turned into this all-out brawl at the tournament. And here, listen to police dispatch from Broadcastify as they were describing how big it was.
Large fight involving about 150 people.
150 people as they were sending police in. Police were heading there. They were told it was getting bigger.
I guess it's a really large issue going on right now. Someone was pepper sprayed.
The pepper spray was involved in all of it. Over 70 police officers went in through mutual aid. Took about 45 minutes to get everything under control. They canceled all the remaining games. The tournament was over at that point. Nobody was arrested. They said it was just easier to separate everybody and tell everybody to get out of there. And nobody was injured to the point where they needed medical aid. But it highlights how out of control it can get. And, one of the reasons a lot of the league organizers are saying this is why kids don't want to officiate youth sports any longer, to be a ref or to be an umpire, depending on what the sport is, that things just get out of control. And it definitely did in Arizona yesterday.
The fact that 100-plus people were involved in this is kind of crazy. Do you think this could have been prevented with different crowd control or supervision? I don't know what was like before all this happened, but I did see some video of it, and all of a sudden you've got a police officer. You've got one police officer driving, got another police officer like hanging off the side, hanging onto the window. I mean, it was just a crazy scene.
Yeah, and apparently there were some off-duty officers who were there with their kids taking part in this, and they were the ones who called it in and said they needed backup, that they couldn't control the situation. That, with numbers like that, what does one police officer, even in uniform, let alone off-duty, what do they do? And you have to call a lot more help in, and then finally seems the marked patrol cars and lights and sirens and uniforms and the threat of arrest, that calmed things down. But it definitely got out of control, and it is that reminder that, come on, it is youth sports. These are your kids. It's not that serious. But over and over again, it just keeps happening.
Well, it's not the kind of place you want to have 70 officers, right? So if you're trying to plan for the future, that's not the best use of resources to have at a flag football tournament with a concurrent soccer tournament happening, 70 of your officers of the law sort of monitoring traffic.
Well, sure, and most jurisdictions couldn't do it. And this called in mutual aid from 3 different cities and from the county as well, and they all had to go in to help do this. They didn't have 70 officers on duty in Mesa on a Sunday afternoon. So, no, this is a big drain on resources, and I'm sure that they'll have more security at events there and elsewhere in the area. But any event that you go to that's a sporting event, there's probably not any law enforcement there on duty, and if there is, it's at least for youth sports, and it would probably be a very minimal number if anybody is on duty, but you don't expect something like this to go on.
Alex, you mentioned youth maybe not wanting to coach because of this. What about the adults who it's a part-time gig? They like to do this. Maybe they're officials. Are officials quitting because they just feel like in some cases it's not safe anymore?
It's just not worth it. Yeah, absolutely. Organizers say whether it be kids doing it as a summer job or adults who like to ref or ump, in the evenings or on the weekends, the people don't want to do it. They don't get paid enough to get yelled at by parents and have coaches angry at them and parents making derogatory comments and then kids following up on those sometimes. That they do find it to be a real issue now, getting people who want to be a soccer ref, a football ref, a baseball umpire, softball umpire, because they take so much guff now.
ABC's Alex Stone. Alex, we appreciate the time. Thank you.
You got it. Thanks, guys.
You bet. Have a good day. 3:57 here on WTMJ. We'll take it till 6 o'clock tonight. Wisconsin's Midday News crew here on Wisconsin's Afternoon News on WTMJ.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
We see you out there coming up with original ideas, which is why you shop at Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Because you know that when a spark of inspiration hits, we'll have the brands and supplies you need at prices that'll help make it happen. Like a 16-inch power tool storage rack, $24.99. 43-piece Milwaukee Impact socket sets, only $99.99. And Blaine's brand full synthetic motor oil, $3.99 a quart. Find the value you need to bring your ideas to life. Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Being original.
The fact is, without us, you'll pay more. When you buy advertising, unless you're seeking out every avenue that the chosen medium has to offer and negotiating with every entity to find out what the true floor is, there's no way you can know if you really did get your best deal. In fact, there's a big chance that you'll overpay. We've done all the legwork, and with a very high volume of consistent year-in and year-out billing, we've uncovered rates that we're sure will surprise you. Anderson-Smith.com. We help small business advertisers get better results. The proof is in the pudding. Advertisers that hire us stick with us for years and years because they trust us, because we always promptly respond to customer needs, and because bottom line, we get results. Go to Anderson-Smith.com's Our Clients page to see who trusts us and check out a long list of real advertising success. Then hit the Contact Us button, email me, and I'll call you in short order because it's time we grew your business. Anderson-Smith.com.
Hey, John Mercure here for Griffin Ford in Waukesha. Griffin Ford mobile service and pickup and delivery are incredible. Let me tell you about this. You need your car fixed. You don't want to take it into Griffin. You want them to come to you. Guess what? They do it. I had a minor repair and some recall work. They rolled right out to my driveway, did it right there. There's no extra cost. Make your life more convenient with the mobile service. It's incredible. Also, great shuttle service if you need to get to and from where you're going. Service department, absolutely incredible. What about the selection? They've got the cars on the lot. I got my favorite car I've ever had there at Griffin, my Ford Explorer. They've got trucks. They've got sedans. They've got the SUVs. They've got the heavy duties. They've got the little cars just to get you to and from work. It is Griffin Ford there in Waukesha. They've got the best service. They've got the best selection. Let Jim Griffin's team take care of you. Whether you're looking for a pre-owned or something brand new, maybe something you can choose all the colors and selections and have it delivered, it's Griffin Ford in Waukesha. Easy to get to. It's Griffin.
Don't miss the Milwaukee Boat Show, January 16th through 25th at State Fair Park. See over 300 boats from more than 80 manufacturers. Get that boat and get that deal.
The family-owned Mineshaft Restaurant in Hartford is hiring line cooks, dishwashers, and third-shift cleaners. You'll make real money in a fun, busy atmosphere. Parents and grandparents, tell your kids. Inquire today and start next week. Visit MineShaftRestaurant.com. Start the new year off on a healthier note by taking active liver supplements from New Nordic every day. Available online at Amazon or NewNordicUSA.com or at your local CVS, ShopRite, Meijer Grocery, or Wegmans.
Find furniture for life from Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, or downtown Milwaukee. Milwaukee Mattress, where top quality mattresses are priced hundreds less than premium national mattress brands. Found exclusively at Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, and downtown Milwaukee.
Trusted, relevant, locally owned, locally programmed. We are Wisconsin's radio station, News Radio 620, WTMJ Milwaukee.
It's 4:01. I'm Greg Matzek. This is Wisconsin's Afternoon News. It's Monday, January 19th. Your top story, a judge rules in favor of Minnesota protesters.
I'm Jessica Tighe. Another restaurant closing on Milwaukee's east side.
I'm Debbie Lazaga, still dealing with problems around Moreland Road. 94 westbound's off-ramp is closed, as is the on-ramp from Moreland Road, all because of a crash. Backup stretching past the county line. On the eastbound side, we got delays just east of Barker Road, heading all the way through the Moreland Road area. A little closer into town, westbound 94 backed up from 35th Street to Mitchell Boulevard. Eastbound is slowing from 84th to Hawley Road, and still have those delays along southbound 894 from Beloit Road down and around to Florist Home. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
Bitter cold, breezy tonight. Wind gusts up to 25 miles an hour. Wind chill 10 to 15 below zero. Tuesday's high 15 degrees. Should see some good pops of sun, but again, very cold temperatures with wind chills below zero. It's 3 degrees and mostly sunny in Milwaukee. At 4:02 from the WTMJ breaking newsroom, a federal judge has ruled that immigration officers in Minnesota cannot detain or tear gas peaceful protesters who are not obstructing authorities, including if they are observing agents. CBS News legal analyst Thane Rosenbaum.
The case was brought by 6 Minnesotans who contended that they were manhandled, pepper sprayed, and arrested by ICE agents for merely observing and criticizing the government's actions in rounding up suspected illegal immigrants. A federal district judge agreed, ruling that this amounted to retaliating against peaceful protesters. The DOJ is now appealing that ruling on the grounds that obstruction of justice takes many forms.
Government attorneys have argued that the officers are acting within their legal authority to enforce immigration laws and protect themselves.
Norway and Finland are joining the chorus of European nations pushing back on President Trump's attempt to acquire Greenland. ABC's Karen Travers.
He is still saying that, in his view, this is a national security issue for the United States. But it was really extraordinary to see the president put it in writing to the leaders of Norway and Finland that he is upset about not winning the Nobel Peace Prize, and that he is factoring that potentially into this calculation for acquiring Greenland. Now, of course, it is not the government of Norway that awards the Nobel Peace Prize, something that the leader there made very clear, saying it is the Independent Nobel Committee, not the Norwegian government.
President Trump is also threatening additional tariffs of 10% against 8 NATO allies who oppose his plan.
Investors are keeping a close eye on President Trump's announcement that countries opposing U.S. control of Greenland will face new tariffs. Annex Wealth Management Chief Economic Strategist Brian Jacobson tells WTMJ.
The market doesn't care for this all that much, but maybe this is just, again, part of the art of the deal in terms of negotiating to something that's a little bit more moderate than where he initially started.
The president says a 10% tariff would go into effect beginning next month if a deal to buy Greenland is not reached.
5 people are in custody this afternoon after a high-speed pursuit in Fond du Lac that lasted more than 20 minutes.
41-year-old Bradley Rose is accused of using Apple iMessages to threaten 2 people across interstate lines, including photos of hands holding guns, causing emotional distress dating back to May 2022. Rose has pled not guilty to all the charges. If convicted, he faces up to 5 years in prison. Elizabeth Linton in WTMJ News.
Goodbye, River West. Hello, Bayview. Woodland Pattern is moving to the former Bindery building, where the nonprofit will have more space for its educational programming, arts exhibits, and more. Co-executive director Laura Solomon tells WTMJ Woodland Pattern is perhaps best known for its unique poetry collection.
It's a non-commercial book center with over 25,000 small press titles. People come from all over the country to find books there because you just can't find these books in other places. You can find them online, but you can't physically interact and touch them anywhere else.
Woodland Pattern will make its move over the summer.
Business closures continue to plague Milwaukee's east side. The poke restaurant Fresh Fin will close its flagship location on North Avenue at the end of January. Its other Milwaukee area locations in Glendale and Brookfield, those are going to remain open. This will mark the 7th business to close within a 3-block radius on the east side in 7 months.
And Milwaukee Area Technical College remembers Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. today with a special guest speaker.
Donzale Abernathy is MLK's goddaughter and the daughter of his civil rights partner, Ralph Abernathy.
My dad was a strategist, and then Uncle Martin was the voice, and nonviolence was the only way we could do it.
She remembers when a group of protesters were paid by white people to throw rocks.
Uncle Martin took full responsibility for it and never told the press. He said, I'm responsible. I didn't do my part. And that's humble, to say that it's your fault when you know it's not your fault.
Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
Coming up, the Bucks win a thriller. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News time is 4:06.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here for Tri-County Contracting. You ever wonder how your house would look if it were a different color, or had a new roof, or maybe a splashy front door? Well, you can see for yourself just by going to TriCountyContractingWI.com. Add a photo of your house and design a new look. Then call them when you're ready. TriCountyContractingWI.com. It's worry-free roofing, siding, and windows. TriCountyContractingWI.com.
Mission 94 is launching all new memberships January 1st, built for the way you train. Individuals, couples, families, and heroes can now enjoy daily free range time and advanced reservations at every level. We simplified everything so you get more of what you value most. And if you're already a member, stay right where you are or upgrade for even more benefits. And if you purchase anytime in January, all memberships are 50% off. Mission 94, your membership, your way. Just Google Mission 94.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here. We've taken a lot of really cool trips. This one may be at the very top of the list. It is September 2026, Treasures of Egypt, the Grand Egyptian Museum, the Great Pyramids, the Towering Sphinx, and a 7-night Nile River cruise on a beautiful ship, Jordan, Petra. Our hotel actually has a private beach with access to the Dead Sea. Absolutely incredible. Colette Vacations will ensure everything is taken care of. I love Colette. Send me an email. I send you the information. Beautiful brochure, including pricing and a detailed itinerary. John at WTMJ.com. You hit me up, John at WTMJ.com. I've got the details for you. Lots of history, excursions, time to relax. We'll laugh and linger and have lots of world-class food and drink as the iconic monuments of Egypt and the ancient markets come to life. JOHN at WTMJ.com. John at WTMJ.com. John at WTMJ.com. Egypt this September.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. Afternoon basketball in Atlanta. The Bucks hang on to beat the Hawks 112-110. 21 points for Giannis. A.J. Green with 18.
Kevin Porter Jr. to Green. Green lets it fly, and he knocks down the three. A huge answer as A.J. gets the green light from distance. And the Bucks lead again by 2. 104-102. 1:23 to play.
Dave Kane with a call here on WTMJ. Bucks had a 23-point lead. The Hawks came storming back and had a chance to tie at the buzzer. C.J. McCollum's mid-range jumper fell just short, and the Bucks snap a 3-game losing streak. Tonight, it's Marquette on the home floor against Providence in Big East men's basketball. Hear the game on 94.5 ESPN at 5 o'clock. In the NFL, the Buffalo Bills fire head coach Sean McDermott after 9 seasons. And college football, the season comes to an end tonight in Miami, where the Miami Hurricanes take on the Indiana Hoosiers. Winner earns a national championship.
Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News time is 4:09.
John Mercure here for Annex Wealth Management. Annex knows that every portfolio tells a story. As a fee-only fiduciary, the Annex focus is to act in your best interest always. That means they provide guidance without commission and without the pressure of selling products. Their local team includes professionals, wealth strategists, attorneys, all working together to help you build a plan for your family or business. Professionals with extensive experience reviewing a wide range of portfolios. At Annex Wealth Management, you'll find fee-only guidance built around your life and a timeline of how and when to adjust things. Whether you're reviewing investments, looking for help with taxes, or planning for retirement, the Annex team works with you through the process. I've worked with them for years. They are top tier. Tax season starts this month, and Annex can help you uncover opportunities to retroactively maximize benefits that may impact your 2025 return. It's financial planning at every level for you or your business. Know the difference? Visit annexwealth.com and just click Get Started.
Wisconsin's afternoon news is on the air, broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue in beautiful downtown Milwaukee. Now, here are your hosts, Greg Matzek and Jessica Tighe.
Greg and Jessica with you until 6 o'clock. I thought maybe, just maybe, you would say, hey, Greg, I'm going to Miami today. Sorry. My Hoosiers are playing for a title tonight.
I was very tempted. I'll tell you what. I have so many friends who are going. Here's the thing. So for everybody, I am from Milwaukee, and I root for all Wisconsin when it comes to pro sports. But I went to Indiana University, so I'm a Hoosier at heart when it comes to college sports. But we were terrible at football. We were bad. We were bad for so many years. So this is a big deal. I mean, I've got college friends coming out of the woodwork to talk about this, and it's exciting. It's fun.
Yeah, no doubt. Big story here, of course, in the world of sports with college football championship game being played later tonight.
Pour yourself another cup of coffee, because your 4 o'clock focus is now brewing on Wisconsin's afternoon news.
A cup of coffee sounds nice right about now as we are in the midst of a cold snap. Brace yourself for the brutal temps to continue. We are in it right now. You felt it if you walked outside at all today. It is currently 3 degrees in Milwaukee and feels like 16 below with the wind. Whew. This week is, on average, the coldest week of the year in southeastern Wisconsin. Seems like 2026 will be no exception. This is Wisconsin. Yes, we're used to the winter dips. You know what to do. Bundle up if you have to be outside for any amount of time. It is dangerously cold. WTMJ meteorologist Craig Copleen will join us in about 20 minutes here to take a look back at this week in Wisconsin weather history and reveal why Mother Nature may continue the cold streak well past this week.
I'm going to have to ask Craig about this because he sent us a chart via email earlier
with some
today.
bad numbers.
Well, right. I get it, right? It's hard to forecast, too far in advance, but he's got it from now to the end of the month. So including today, 13 days, and I count 12 where the morning wind chill will be below 0. 12 out of 13 days to finish out this month.
To do a little summary for you, a real quick one, there aren't many days with anything above 25.
Yeah.
In fact, I think there might only be one.
Oh, it's one day. There's one day in this chart.
Oof.
This is not a pleasing chart to look at. We'll ask him about it coming up. European allies are uniting against the United States as the president ratchets up pressure to take over Greenland. ABC News White House correspondent Mary Bruce.
Trump now warning 8 key NATO allies, including Denmark, France, Germany, and the United Kingdom, that they will face tariffs, starting with 10% in February, until a deal is reached for the complete and total purchase of Greenland. Nearly 30 European ambassadors holding an emergency meeting Sunday. Allies now flocking to Greenland's defense.
The British Prime Minister Keir Starmer this morning says tariffs should not be used against allies. Meanwhile, the Supreme Court is going to evaluate the legal challenges to whether President Trump has the authority to impose sweeping tariffs without specific congressional approval. A decision on that could come down as early as Tuesday.
Well, just announced today, Milwaukee Bucks star Giannis Antetokounmpo is headed back to the NBA All-Star game as a starter. This is his 10th straight All-Star nod and start. That is the longest active streak in the league. I'm not surprised, but I am impressed. He just continues to impress.
Voted on by the fans, so still one of the most dominant and popular players in the NBA. He's got a global appeal, right? So you've got people from all over the world voting for Giannis, not just here in Wisconsin.
Yeah, that's right. In year 13, the Greek Freak is still dominating despite the team's poor performance. Giannis is scoring nearly 29 points a game and shooting a career-high 65% from the field. He also just passed 21,000 career points, all in a Bucks uniform. We love that. The All-Star Game tips off February 15th in L.A.
Bucks with a win earlier this afternoon. MLK Day matinee with a 112-110 win over the Hawks. Coming up next, quite the anniversary, 80 years and going strong under new ownership 4 months after a fire almost took him out. It's Gloriosos, the history, the story, the celebration after this.
After a serious crash with a semi-truck, everything can change instantly. Your future, your family's future, your quality of life. That's why knowledge and results matter in big truck cases. And not all law firms have the know-how or the resources to handle these complicated cases. At Gruber Law Offices, we have the experience it takes to make sure you're protected. And there's never a fee until we win your case. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Hey, John Mercure here for Mend Studios. You deserve to feel better. You deserve to feel healthy. You deserve to feel great about yourself. Mend Studios has a long-term wellness as the goal. That's how they're going to do it. That's how they're going to take care of you. I know and trust the therapists at Mend Studio. They customize every single treatment, and they've got multiple locations. They're in Mequon and Brookfield, both convenient, both easy to get to. Start at the website, mendstudio.com. I never feel better than I do after a session at Mend. Mendstudio.com.
Traffic is sponsored by Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center in Waukesha. Whatever the weather, visit WisconsinIndoorGolfCenter.com. Tee off the new year with a two-man scramble at Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center. Play the legendary Kapalua Plantation course on their state-of-the-art simulators. Sign up now to win cash prizes. Must play by January 31st.
Wisconsin's afternoon news podcast is sponsored by Dave Drake Heating. Your comfort is their family's tradition. Visit DaveDrakeCamp.com. Let's get a look at the roads with Debbie Loziga.
All right, westbound 94 backing up right through the stadium, interchange from about 35th Street to Mitchell Boulevard. Then back on the brakes just west of Highway 100 all the way to Moreland Road, where you'll find an accident on the off-ramp to Moreland Road, and also they've closed the on-ramp as well. So the accident is right at Moreland Road, and they've got a tow truck out there. They're working on it, but it's also affecting the eastbound side because everybody's got to slow down to take a look. So we got backups from Barker Road all the way to Moreland Road. Beyond that, delays from 84th Street past 70 or 68th. We've got a little bit of a backup southbound on 41 just south of Capitol Drive, not making it quite to Burleigh, but the rest of the system at this point, we are still looking pretty good. I'm Debbie Loziga with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
Bitter cold likely through the end of the month. That's not good. 15 degrees the high listed today. I think we achieved that already. It's 4 degrees right now and definitely not going north. 1 below zero the overnight low. That wind chill 5 to 15 below. Tuesday's high 14 degrees. Expect wind chills in the morning again below zero. Wednesday we warm up to 24, but again those morning wind chills and evening wind chills going to be pretty bitter cold. Our low on Thursday, air temperature 8 below zero with a high of 18. We are in it, no doubt. More details with Craig Copleen coming up in about 10 minutes. 4 degrees and sunny in Milwaukee at 418. So it's an East Side staple, one of my favorite places in Milwaukee, and it's been open since 1946. It's Glorioso's Italian Market. You know the place. It's just an iconic, it's like a landmark here. If you know anything about the East Side of Milwaukee and you don't know Glorioso, somehow you missed it. It's an incredible place that people drive from all over the state to visit. It's that special of an Italian grocery store.
It's that special, and it's so good. I feel like you need to go in with a budget, because if you don't, it's like, oh, I'd love that cheese. Ooh, but look at that cheese and that sausage, and oh, the pasta, the variety of pasta is so good.
Everything there is just 100% authentic Italian, and it's just delicious. So Gloriosa's Italian Market, iconic business right on Brady Street, celebrating its 80th anniversary, and doing so roughly 4 months after a fire on the store's second floor forced them to close for the holidays. Carmine Presta is the owner of Glorioso's. We had a chance to speak with him.
October 3rd, on our second floor where we have we call it our IT room, server room. It caught on fire around 3 in the morning. The fire marshals deemed it as an electrical short. So the complete IT room just, burned to the ground with some other rooms next door. We have our laundry room, employee restrooms. The store itself didn't sustain any damage other than smoke damage, but anyone that has worked with smoke in the past, is very hard to get the smell out of the store. So most of the construction was on our second floor, which is mostly for employees. The store itself, other than smoke damage, it was a lot of restorations. We hired Service Masters Restorations from out of Wisconsin, and they worked 28 days straight, ran 2 shifts, 24/7. About 15 crews on each shift, so it just goes to show how much cleaning was done for 28 days straight.
You had so many people following along on their Facebook page to see when they would reopen. They were making announcements regularly. They had a couple of setbacks with the restoration, getting all that smoke damage out. They had to restock inventory. I mean, it was really a monumental process to get the doors back open. Well, they have reopened those doors. The Presta family bought the store about 18 months ago.
We didn't purchase Glorioso's to change anything. We saw a brand that they've worked hard for. Our goal was to keep Glorioso's open for another 100 years, but also Michael had a vision of opening more locations and expanding, and that's what our goal is, to expand into the state of Wisconsin and opening more locations. But the family recipes, those are locked in a key, safe, and nothing has changed. We just want to keep the store going as it is and keep the doors open, but nothing, no customer would ever notice a change.
You think the recipes are really in a safe? They might be. They might be.
It's like a Seinfeld episode that comes to mind with the special recipes from a soup place. But yes, what I appreciate about Carmine Presta and the new ownership is that they really decided not to change anything. In fact, that decision was made before day one of ownership because it is such an East Side staple, and people have come to, you mentioned Italian sausage from Glorioso's, and you can almost taste it right away, the scent when you walk in. It's just so unique and so authentic. The Presta's new Glorioso's was an East Side staple, and each passing day, they have learned more about the connection with the community and what the community means to the store and what the store means to the community.
When we first met Michael and his father, Mr. Glorioso, it was hard for us to understand, the institution of what Glorioso's meant to everybody. So as we've been working there, this last year, Michael's still very heavily involved. You see all the customers know all our employees. They sit down, they talk to everybody. They love chatting with everyone. But once the fire hit and we start receiving social media, emails, U.S. mail, they're sending us letters, and these are just residents and customers, lifelong customers saying, "Can we help with the cleanup? Let us know when you guys have to restock. We'll help you restock." You see this, and you start to understand, what the brand and what the Glorioso's Institute, what it means to all the residents and all the customers, that people are reaching out on their own time to offer their help. And you don't see that much, nowadays, but it's heartwarming. It's beautiful. And then my brothers and I couldn't be more happier to be a part of what the Glorioso family worked so hard for. And then it's just awesome.
I just love learning that people actually wrote letters. Old-fashioned, wrote the letter, put the stamp on that envelope, sent it in the mail, just saying how much they missed Glorioso's during that time of the fire. And here's the thing. Today started the grand reopening 80th anniversary celebration, but it had this soft opening, so people have been back shopping for a little bit now. And the first day that they opened those doors, I mean, there were people just rushing in, people who said they were shaking. That's how excited they were. I mean, it sounds silly, doesn't it? But that's how important this East Side staple is to a lot of families. We also asked about what's next for Glorioso's. Anything coming up maybe that the public doesn't know about yet? Carmine told us that there are plans in the works for expanding the brand.
We are heavily already involved with a couple cities looking to open up another location. It would be the same footprint, same size. We have lots of customers that travel a long way, hour and a half. So we're just trying to bridge the gap to make it easier for them to visit.
Any hints on those other cities?
Blink your eyes.
To know that.
Yeah, blink your eyes if it's Madison. Blink your eyes.
Everyone's been asking, but we have been working with a couple cities, and we hope in the next month or two to have some good news. But we are heavily looking to open our second location.
And there's a grand reopening 80th anniversary ribbon cutting ceremony tomorrow morning at 10. In all, though, it is a 6-week-long celebration for this iconic Milwaukee store.
We got a lot of things going on. So talking with my brothers, I said 80 years, working in a family business isn't easy. For us, our management, our staff, there's a lot of long hours. So we want to show our appreciation to all our customers, in the past, present, for 80 years. So the big first giveaway that we're going to be doing is a trip to Rome, Italy.
Woo!
So we're going to it'll be airfare and hotel paid for. So that'll be one of them. A second giveaway that we're going to be doing is you could get a free jar of Glorioso's pasta sauce for 1 year. So you get a free one a week.
Yum.
So keeping the sauce going. Another giveaway is we're going to be doing a sandwich winner. So you could choose from the sandwiches that we create for a whole year. You'll get one free one a week. Just stop in the store. On one of the days, I think it's the 21st, I want to say, we're going to be doing for the first 50 customers, they'll get a $50 gift card that you can find all these online. And then we'll also, for these 6 weeks of our opening, we're going to be giving away with our rewards app, Glorioso brand pasta. We got a lot of giveaways going on just to show our appreciation for everybody.
Very busy time indeed. Eastside Milwaukee staple. Glad it's back open. So check out Glorioso's if you've not, and be a part of their celebration. Good stuff.
Today would be the perfect day for the Human Torch sandwich if you like spice.
Delicious.
Oh, yeah. Heat that baby up.
We need to get a check of the weather here with Craig Copleen coming up. Not only is it a bitter cold snap, but snow could be on the way, and it could be a bit of an event. We'll get the details with Craig coming up after this.
Who doesn't need a seasonal wardrobe update? But who has the cash to always keep their wardrobe updated? Ladies, that's why you shop St. Vincent de Paul. Our women's clothing is always a highlight of our stores, and thrift store prices keep the costs low. It allows you to experiment and also find a hidden gem. St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
many people are in your family, buying new jackets for the cold weather months can be expensive. But when you shop St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores, prices on cold weather jackets will give you a sigh of relief because thrift store prices mean great deals. And right now we have a great selection. Find great deals on cold weather jackets for the family at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
Oh, the weather outside is frightful, but the fire is so delightful.
Yeah, it could be a bit of a combo platter here with a bitter cold snap, and snow could be on the way, according to our latest update from the National Weather Service. We welcome in WTMJ meteorologist, it's Craig Copleen. Hi, Craig.
Hi there, Greg. Hi, Jessica. I think frightful might be the nicest way to describe the next week or two.
Yeah, so where do you want to start here? The cold snap that's apparently here to the end of the month, or snow that could be developing and wreck commutes?
Yeah, let's talk about the cold, first of all, and it hit with a bang today, right? We had wind chills around 25 to 30 below this morning, and they've been been below zero ever since, single digits on the thermometer all day. And we are not going to see a meaningful warm up coming until, well, probably 2 weeks from now. And by that, I mean, we're going to go up and down from time to time over the next 2 weeks, but by and large, temperatures are going to be below normal, and in some cases, way below normal for the next 2 weeks. Today, one of the coldest days of the next 2 weeks, and we're going to moderate a little bit through midweek. Then we're going to really get slammed again this weekend, and by that, I mean wind chills again early in the morning this coming weekend. 25 to 30 below, and then late the following week we could be dealing with 30 below wind chills again too. So we can see this coming for at least the next 14 days or so. So get ready, and it's not too early to start bracing yourself for whatever that heating bill is going to be after we get through this.
Craig, what does history tell us about this week weather-wise in Wisconsin?
Yeah, so if you look at the average temperatures this time of the year in southeast Wisconsin, this is on average our coldest week of the year, roughly January 20th to 26th. So that's this week. It's not an official weather statistic or anything, but when I just sit down and look at the numbers, this is when they bottom out. So you could consider once we get through this week as being halfway through the cold season.
Yeah, you sent this handy little chart via email earlier today, and I was looking for all right, where's our little warm-up? Any 40s in here? No. So 13 days into the end of the month, including today, and I see one where the morning wind chill will be above zero. That's it, one.
Exactly. No 40s, heck, no 30s above zero. Wednesday of this week, we'll have highs in the 20s. That looks like the warmest day of the next 2 weeks.
And so, yes, I look at that. I'm like, woo, 25. That's going to look good. That's going to feel good on Wednesday. But then I see Friday, it's like a big donut hole, a high of zero.
Right back down we go. And, for some perspective here, we've certainly been this cold before, and we've certainly had long stretches of cold before, but that doesn't make it any less impactful and potentially dangerous if you're not prepared for it, if you have to spend any notable time outside.
All right, Craig, we will brace for it, no doubt, here the rest of the month. The possibility of snow on the way. We'll check in with Niz coming up in the 5 o'clock hour. Appreciate it, Craig. Thank you.
Thanks, Craig.
My pleasure.
429 on WTMJ News coming up.
It's a robber, and if you ignore it, it will just keep taking and taking. I know how pain can consume you. It steals the fun out of life. It steals your energy. And it's just a dark cloud over a lot of people's lives, even on the sunniest of days. But your joint pain does not have to rob you of your life or your happiness. Because at Rejuvenex, we can alleviate your pain, and that can rejuvenate your life. In a world where big box healthcare has driven pain treatment costs through the roof and has made it look like joint replacements are your only option, Rejuvenex has kept pain treatment affordable for almost anyone. And for most with insurance, including Medicare and Medicaid, we've seen pain treatment paid for by insurance with zero out-of-pocket cost to our patients. This is Rejuvenex founder Richard Salinas. Don't let pain rob you. Take action today so we can help make your joint pain go away.
Alleviate your pain, rejuvenate your life.
Call today, and there's a good chance we'll see you tomorrow.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender.
NMLS ID 255368.
This is Brian Wickert with my son David, president of Accunet. David, we're pre-approving a lot of home shoppers this time of year. Why should someone choose Accunet for their pre-approval?
Dad, getting pre-approved with just any lender is like showing up to a first date in sweatpants. Sure, you're there, but are you really ready to impress? Our rock-solid pre-approval is like showing up in your best outfit with reservations already made. We also have an excellent reputation among real estate agents, so having Accunet's name on your pre-approval can make the difference.
What else?
In addition to clearly stating we verified your credit, income, and down payment, we'll also run the specific home you're looking to buy through our underwriting software to see if we can approve your loan without an appraisal, which sellers and their agents absolutely love. Bottom line, we do everything possible to help you win.
Thanks, David. Don't settle for anything less. Get started with your rock-solid pre-approval by clicking on the blue button today at Accunet.com. That's ACCUNET.com.
M.W. Marine.
The 6th annual Hales Corners Hometown Boat Show is on now at M.W. Marine. Check out the newest fishing boats from Lund, Vexus, and Ranger, all powered by Mercury Outboards. Grab a gorgeous 2026 model or save big on remaining 2025 Mercury-powered boats with substantial rebates. Demand is high, so get to M.W. Marine today. Free parking and free admission. Don't miss the Hometown Boat Show at M.W. Marine, MWMarine.com. Put a little wow in your winter at the 31st Annual Lake Geneva Winterfest and America's Snow Sculpting Invitational, January 28th through February 1st. Watch 15 top teams create breathtaking masterpieces in snow right before your very eyes. Enjoy bonfires on the beach, a kids' play area, live entertainment, and a sparkling downtown ice sculpture walk. Plan your Winterfest getaway at visitlakegeneva.com. Lake Geneva, where it's always been the place for winter magic.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on Wisconsin's radio station, News Radio WTMJ.
I'm Greg Matzek. Your top story: the death toll climbs after a high-speed train crash in Spain.
I'm Jessica Tighe. A day of service in honor of MLK.
I'm Debbie Lazaga. Still seeing some delays southbound 41 from Capitol Drive heading down towards Burleigh. Westbound 94 backups from 35th Street to Hawley Road. Back on the brakes from the county line just past Sunny Slope Road. Earlier accidents around Moreland Road have been cleared out of the way. Eastbound 94 is backing up just a bit from about 92nd Street all the way to Hawley Road. And then on the bypass, heading southbound from Howard Avenue down and around the Hale interchange to about 68th Street. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
Bitter cold continues tonight. Wind chill 10 to 20 below. Tuesday, partly cloudy. Snow moving in the evening hours, a high of 16. Again, wind chills well below zero. 4 degrees and sunny in Milwaukee at 4:34. Regional officials confirm at least 40 people are dead after a high-speed rail collision in southern Spain. BBC News correspondent James Waterhouse.
Somehow, on an early evening in southern Spain, 2 high-speed trains collided. One, travelling north to Madrid, came off its tracks, say officials, into an oncoming train going in the opposite direction, causing that one to crash into an embankment. More than 400 people were on board in total.
Authorities say the impact was so violent, bodies were found hundreds of meters away. The death toll could rise as recovery efforts continue.
The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration is investigating nearly 600,000 GM vehicles.
Last year, General Motors issued a recall for certain 6.2-liter V8 gas engines for possible manufacturing defects that can lead to engine damage or failure. Dealers were told to inspect the engines and either change the oil to a higher viscosity oil or replace the engine as necessary, but complaints allege both types of recall remedies failed. And now, as a result, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration is opening an investigation after continued engine failure. It's looking at certain 2021 to 2024 Cadillac Escalade, Chevy Silverado, Suburban, Tahoe, and GMC Sierra and Yukon models. Alex Stone, EBC News.
A former treasurer for an American Legion post in Brookfield is facing felony charges.
Court records show 72-year-old Darlene Baychek is charged with felony theft in a business setting involving more than $10,000 and felony identity theft to obtain money or credit. Prosecutors say she took more than $46,000 from American Legion Post 449 line between 2018 and 2024 through unauthorized withdrawals and checks. A judge set a $5,000 signature bond for her release. Her next court appearance is February 13th. Nazir Spencer, WTMJ News.
Another grocery store is leaving the northwest side of Milwaukee. Century Foods near 64th and Silver Spring will close this week. The store opened less than 3 years ago to fill a food desert. Not good news for the neighborhood. An Aldi store closed just 2 miles away last week, and Sherman Park Grocery, about 4 miles away, is struggling right now to stay open. The closures mean the closest major grocery store for thousands of people in Milwaukee will be an hour-long walk or 30-minute bus ride.
State officials continue to increase awareness about human trafficking. In 2024, there were over 100 cases reported in Wisconsin, majority involving sex trafficking of adult women. Attorney General Josh Kaul explains the role of the Wisconsin Anti-Human Trafficking Task Force.
Improve our data collection so we have a clearer picture of the scope of trafficking. In addition to developing data, is also to get information from people who have knowledge, direct knowledge about this activity if it's occurring.
Kaul says if you suspect trafficking, document as much information as possible and contact law enforcement immediately.
Scammers are using increasingly simple tactics to take control of online accounts. Phishing emails, fake links, and stolen personal information are some of the most common methods. Department of Ag, Trade, and Consumer Protection Rep Michelle Ryden on WTMJ.
Be careful when sharing information online, including minor details like a pet's name, past schools attended, or family members' names, because those could be security question answers. Monitor financial accounts regularly and follow up with those institutions immediately if there are irregularities spotted.
Ryden recommends monitoring your accounts on a regular basis and typing website addresses directly.
Time for WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. Some breaking news. ESPN's Adam Schefter reporting the Miami Dolphins are hiring former Packers defensive coordinator Jeff Hafley as their new head coach. The Buffalo Bills fire head coach Sean McDermott after 9 seasons. Afternoon basketball in Atlanta, the Bucks take down the Hawks 112-110. And in college basketball tonight, Marquette continues Big East play against Providence. Hear the game on 94.5 ESPN at 5 o'clock.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 4:38.
A buck doesn't buy much unless you're spending it at Griffin. For just $1 over cost, you can buy brand new tires from us. This is Jim Griffin. Any major brand, $1 over our cost with free tire repair and lifetime rotation. We'll even show you the invoice to prove it. Our only requirements, we put them on for you. Buy one or the whole set. The dollar deal from Griffin. Milwaukee and Waukesha. Griffin. The buck stops here, but the deals on tires don't. That's Griffin.
Not combinable with other tire offers.
Winter would be pretty bleak without my friends at Fleet Farm. They're my one-stop shop for everything ice fishing. My boots, bibs, augers, scoopers, rods, reels. I mean, Fleet Farm's got all the best ice fishing gear. Hook, line, and sinker. And duct tape, too, if you need it. You'll always need it. Take it from me, John Gillespie. Fleet Farm's got everything you need to gear up for a great year on the ice.
WTMJ's John Mercure here. I love my dogs, Bella and Baxter, an important part of our family. They're kind of like kids sometimes, and like kids, they weren't always listening, but I've got it figured out now. Thanks to Matt and his teams at Sit Means Sit Dog Training, our dogs are better behaved. They don't bark as much. They just listen better. They're happy, confident, obedient. Our house is a better house. Sit Means Sit Dog Training turned it around for us. Let them do the same for you. You can start with a free consultation. The website is sitmeansitwaukesha.com. Sitmeansitwaukesha.com.
Education changes everything. It opens doors, shapes futures, and builds the foundation for our children's success. At City Ford Collective, we're working to transform our city's schools and ensure every Milwaukee child receives the high-quality education they deserve. We've taken real steps forward, but our work is far from done. This giving season, we're asking you to join us. Together, we can secure a stronger future for our children and a stronger future for Milwaukee. To support our mission, visit cityforwardcollective.org/donate. That's cityforwardcollective.org/donate.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on WTMJ.
All right, so I mentioned the chart that Craig Copleen sent over in our email. It was very discouraging to read.
It's a nasty chart.
It's like 13 days, including today, until the end of the month, and 12 of the 13 days feature wind chills below zero. So not a great time to be out and about, and not a great time for dogs either. you really think about it, this is a very serious topic here to discuss because not all the dogs have the same amount of fur. Their paws touch the ground. There's salt on the ground. It's just a mess to try and get your dog outside in this weather. They're like, you insane? You go out there and go to the bathroom. I want to go out there. So then ratchet up accidents at the house. What do you do? Some helpful tips if you have a dog. If you're a pet owner here in southeastern Wisconsin with a bitter cold snap, what can you do? Well, my friend at the Hounds and Tap, Armand Salamati, joins us on the line right now. Hi, Armand.
Hey guys, how you doing?
I'm doing great. So clearly you could bring your dog to the Hounds and Tap. You hang out, have the dog be there for daycare or boarding services. It's a great way to get out of the house. But what can you do? Because weather like this can be dangerous for different breeds. What is the threshold for temperatures and having it be relatively safe even for your dog to be outside?
Yeah, so I mean, obviously, like you said, it varies by breed, size, age, and coat. But something you can look out for your dogs are, different signs that they're giving you that it is too cold. This can include body language like hunched posture, a tucked tail, lifting paws off the ground. And some ways to kind of combat this are, protective footwear that you can get for your dogs, like little booties. I have no shame in dressing up my two pitties at home in their little onesies and their sweaters as well. So those are just a couple of ways that I combat like the cold when it comes to like taking them outside. I also make sure to keep walks to, because you still want to get them exercise, you still want to get them out, and obviously they have to go to the bathroom. But I try to make sure that our time outside is limited, whether it be for like little potty breaks, just going out throughout the day, maybe a little bit more periodically, but just shorter spurts. And then walks overall, obviously being a little bit shorter as well.
Armand, you mentioned those little booties that you can put on your dog's paws. I'll tell you what, for years, I tried different variations of those dog boots. And my dog was just like, what the heck is this? And he'd kind of put up one leg, put up the other. And it was like this little bit of a dance. And finally, I just thought, I don't think this is for him. So I tried something. I believe it was Musher's Secret. It's that paw wax. Would you recommend something like that for people if their dogs don't want to get into those boots or don't like to walk in those boots?
Absolutely. I actually was going to mention that as well. Both my dogs refuse to wear the booties. So whenever I take them outside, especially with all like the salt, like non-pet safe salt that's out there, you want to try to avoid like little paw burns, cracks, or irritation. I swear by Musher's Secret. I've been using it for years. And it's definitely very helpful for my dogs as well.
That's interesting. I had not heard of that. I mean, Armand, we have a Greyhound night. Anatomically, they're just built different, so boots do not work on Greyhounds. So I end up rolling through dress socks and painter's tape to try and keep some socks. Yeah, it's not a great situation. We try and make do. We've also taken night to like the Home Depot or Farm and Fleet. Like, how helpful is that, Armand? Does that really help stimulate the dog a little bit to, they can kind of get their wiggles out and get their sense? And we're not letting Night run loose in Home Depot, but just to do something. Is that helpful?
Oh, absolutely. That's super helpful. Some other tips that you can do at home too. I do a lot of scent work with my two dogs. So I'll do like, snuffle mats where I put the treats in so they can try and find the treats, or I even do I hide treats throughout the house and I'll tell my dogs to try and go find them. I do a lot of follow the leader as well, where I carry treats and I pretty much just pace my place and have the dogs follow me. And then anything from making little DIY obstacle courses, frozen Kongs and lick mats are also really good for them as well. But definitely, if you can find places like Home Depot or anything that are dog friendly, just to get them out of the house and get some help with their overstimulation, I super recommend that.
I know you guys have grooming over at the Hounds and Tap as well. Any suggestions for grooming in the winter? I know we used to keep our Cocker Spaniel a little bit longer in the winter just to kind of give him that little extra oomph, kind of give him that sweater that he has there instead of getting him that nice summer cut.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when you take, especially there's a lot of doodles out there and everything that do play in the snow or longer coat dogs, making sure when they do come in from the snow that you're really getting all that snow, ice, and everything off of them, and just really drying them off and making sure that you're avoiding any chance of any hot spots or anything like that.
And Armani, you think about certain breeds that might do well in weather like this. You think about Huskies or German Shepherds. Is there even a breaking point for them? Would this be too cold for even those dogs?
Eventually, yes. But, you know, a lot of those breeds are built for this weather, so they are going to enjoy their time outside. But it's just as a pet parent making the best judgments and really monitoring that body language and making sure, because it can work the same with hot weather. Like my dog Rico is a big fan of hot weather, and he'll push himself to the limit outside. So it's just really, really studying your dog's body language to make sure that they're safe and comfortable in this weather.
Well, the Hounds and Tap is always warm year-round. You can take your dog to the Hounds and Tap, connect with Armand and Lee and the great team over there. Good tips from Armand Salamati, how to keep your dog stimulated during the winter months. We appreciate it, Armand. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much.
Of course. Thank you. Have a great rest of your day.
You do the same. It's 4:46 on WTMJ. We check in with MMAC Senior Advisor Tim Sheehy right after this.
Planet Fitness has everything you need to get stronger just around the corner, so you can give everything you've got. Whether you want to crush a few reps before class with our expanded strength equipment or sweat it out on your way home from work. With over 2,800 locations, there's a Planet Fitness close to you, and most are open 24 hours. Join the club today and save $28 or more when you join for $1 down, $15 a month. Cancel anytime. Deal ends January 30th. Are you coming? Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet. See club for details.
Hey everybody, Debbie Lazaga here, and I'm here to talk about the Milwaukee Weight Loss Program. It's happening. Things are changing for me. And now, a little while ago, I did mention that I started up doing the Milwaukee Weight Loss Program, and I've got a few pounds to lose, that's for sure. And it's happening. I have already started losing weight with their wonderful Metabolic Reset Program. You know, they know the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day, no exercising, no prepackaged meals, no counting points or calories, no drugs, no surgery, and no injections with the risk of serious side effects. There's really no better time than now to give yourself the gift of a new you. Many patients lose 20 to 30 pounds in about a month or two, and I'm hoping for the 30. Call for your free weight loss consultation at 262-449-1180. That's 262-449-1180 or online at MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. That's MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com.
The pulse of the Milwaukee Bucks, straight from a Bucks legend.
Can't get it off. Marcus Johnson will, though. Can't leave him alone for a 12.
Tap into Here District with Marcus Johnson on Bucks Plus. Marcus and his son Chris offer a weekly beat on Bucks basketball. Get your questions answered and hear from the biggest names in basketball. Find Here District with Marcus Johnson at bucks.com/plus on the Bucks app or wherever you get your podcasts.
It all comes down to this, folks.
Yep, the entire season is on the line. But my throat has officially thrown in the towel.
Sounds like you need Vicks VapoCool drops. They're max strength and vaporize sore throat pain.
Whoa! These VapoCool drops hit fast.
Speaking of fast, did you just see that play?
Yeah, he vaporized that ball.
That pun should have come with a penalty.
Vaporize sore throat pain with Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed.
Hear that? That's Mike. He took ZzzQuil Pure Z's, so now he's sleeping soundly on a Sunday night. ZzzQuil Pure Z's are fast-acting melatonin gummies with a complementary botanical blend to help Mike get the sleep he needs to wake up refreshed and ready to conquer Monday.
Let's do this Monday.
ZzzQuil Pure Z's, just for sleep. Really great sleep. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Use as directed.
It's Gina Della. You've heard me define what makes Pella Windows and Doors different. Let me introduce you to the woman behind the billboards, commercials, and share my extraordinary journey of resilience, reinvention, and shattering glass ceilings every Saturday morning at 6:30 on 620 WTMJ and anywhere you stream podcasts for What's the Difference with Gina Della to discuss business coaching across all industries, featuring successful executives, entrepreneurs, and mentors along the way. This is a story you won't want to miss.
Get the help you need Saturday morning with How To Radio. At 7, it's the WTMJ Fix-It Show with David Nason, featuring this week's guest, Sighting Unlimited. At 9, plan your dream vacation with the Fox World Travel Show. At 10, get financial guidance during Money Talk. Contact Annex Wealth Management for an unbiased review of your investments at annexwealth.com. How To Radio, Saturday mornings on WTMJ.
Traffic sponsored by Mission 94 Firearms Education Center. Half off memberships when you sign up in January.
From those with no experience to firearms enthusiasts, all are welcome at Mission 94 Firearms Education Center. Sign up in January and receive 50% off all memberships. Just Google Mission 94.
Time for a check of the roads. Check in with Debbie Lonziga.
All right, well, things are starting to slow down a little bit more on eastbound 94 between 84th Street and Hawley Road, really hitting the brakes there. On the westbound side, we're also seeing delays from about 27th Street past Mitchell Boulevard. We've got fire on the off-ramp to Hampton from northbound 43. So just watch out for that. That is got a whole bunch of fire trucks around that area, so just be very careful with that. Also, westbound 894, we are seeing delays from just past 27th Street all the way to about 51st. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
Cold snap in effect. Temperatures hovering right around 0 right now. It's actually 2 downtown. Overnight wind chills could reach 15 below 0. Tomorrow's high 16. 2 degrees and mostly clear in Milwaukee at 451. Time to check in with MMAC Senior Advisor Tim Sheehy, our economic spotlight here on WTMJ. Hi, Tim.
Hey, Greg. Hey, Jessica.
Hello.
Hey, we did a number of stories toward the end of the year on the U-Haul index, right, where people were flocking to around the country. And I think there were some related stories about the Midwest and how it's being viewed as a value play for people looking to move. So what does that mean to you? Why is the Midwest, and I guess Wisconsin specifically, being looked at as a value play for 2026?
Yeah, there's really 2 factors that come into play here. One is that the median housing prices in the Midwest in Wisconsin are about 22% below the national average. So housing here is much more affordable. Rents are lower. And then the other trend is that our year-over-year wage growth is climbing steadily. In fact, it's matching both the East Coast and the West Coast. So you put, kind of rising incomes with affordable housing, and you have what you just described there as the value play in the U.S. So I think it bodes well for a part of the country, Wisconsin in particular, that could use good economic news to attract people to the state.
It was right at the start of the month. I don't know if you saw this one, but there was an article in the Wall Street Journal. The title was, the headline was, Americans are looking to the Midwest to find affordability. And when I looked at it, it was basically based out of Appleton, Wisconsin. Talked about this couple who enjoyed their years in L.A., but when it came time to buy a bigger home for their family, they packed up and moved back to a place where they could actually afford one. The Midwest, Wisconsin, these people moved to Appleton.
Yeah, no, and it's part of, again, the numbers behind that. In the Midwest, only 1 in 7 families pay more than 30% of their income on housing. So, that's a big driver and a big draw as we talk about, or both political parties kick this affordability football back and forth. We really do have that affordable context for living in the Midwest and in particular in Wisconsin.
You also have emerging sectors here, Tim. As we have noted, the tech sector is growing rapidly here in the state of Wisconsin. Healthcare has always been strong. You think about some of the education opportunities here. That's always been great. But emerging tech sector is something also appealing, I think, to this area.
It is very much so. And, we've talked about this in the program before. Wisconsin, our economic fastball is still manufacturing. But as you noted, the tech industry and technology is permeating almost every industry. So that's also creating new good-paying jobs that are attracting people to Wisconsin.
Speaking of tech, let's talk about big tech for a moment, because the president of Microsoft, Brad Smith, met last week with business leaders from the MMAC. And I loved the timing on this because we talked about it on midday. Just last week, Microsoft rolled out that Community First AI Infrastructure Initiative with 5 specific commitments. Did he talk about those commitments, or was he talking about something else when he met with the leaders?
Yeah, kind of, twofold. One is he wanted to dig in and understand more about the pushback and what Microsoft could do to better communicate the investments they're making. And then, second was to highlight what they're talking about. And, I've been doing this a long time. I don't remember an industry or a company coming to our state saying, hey, we're willing to pay higher rates for anything. But they made that as a part of their pledge. They're willing to pay for the costs of delivering electricity to the data centers, which is great, and it helps isolate that risk for us. The second thing he talked about, which we've talked about before, is water consumption. They want to be good stewards. They're next to the lake not because of access to water, but because it's cooler. And the cooler it is, the less water they have to use. So even the large Microsoft plant down in Mount Pleasant is only going to use what amounts to 4 Olympic-sized swimming pools a year of water. And then he talked about the commitment to local jobs. And then finally, what we talked about, I think, a week or two ago on this program is the impact they have on taxes, specifically local property taxes. Vantage will be the largest property taxpayer in Port Washington with their data center. And in Mount Pleasant, Microsoft will now be the largest property taxpayer in that community. So a good dialogue, but he was there to listen also to the concerns that people had about the investment in these data centers.
A fascinating opportunity to meet with an industry giant here like Brad Smith, Tim.
Yeah, absolutely. And if people don't know or forget, Brad actually grew up. His father still lives in the Cedarburg area, so he's very familiar with Wisconsin. And like a lot of good Wisconsinites, he wants to make sure he's leaving Wisconsin better than he left it.
All good information from MMAC Senior Advisor Tim Sheehy joining us here on Wisconsin's Afternoon News. Tim, thank you for sliding to our show today.
Yeah, thanks, Tim.
Talk to you again next week.
No worries, you bet. Bye.
You bet. 4:57 on WTMJ. 5 o'clock news coming up right after this.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here. We've taken a lot of really cool trips. This one may be at the very top of the list. It is September 2026, Treasures of Egypt, the Grand Egyptian Museum, the Great Pyramids, the Towering Sphinx, and a 7-night Nile River cruise on a beautiful ship, Jordan, Petra. Our hotel actually has a private beach with access to the Dead Sea. Absolutely incredible. Colette Vacations will ensure everything is taken care of. I love Colette. Send me an email. I send you the information. Beautiful brochure including pricing and a detailed itinerary. John at WTMJ.com. You hit me up, John at WTMJ.com. I've got the details for you. Lots of history, excursions, time to relax. We'll laugh and linger and have lots of world-class food and drink as the iconic monuments of Egypt and the ancient markets come to life. JOHN at WTMJ.com. John at WTMJ.com. John at WTMJ.com. Egypt this September.
Hi, this is Julie Coombs and Cindy Storm Fisher with Storm Fisher Investment Group. Are you a retiring professional worried about the direction of our economy, about making your money last? Come see what we can do for you. Let us show you how we take care of you to help you have a great retirement. We are at 262-796-8400 or stormfisher.com. See you soon.
Securities offered through Osaic Wealth Inc. Member FINRA SIPC. Advisory services offered through Osaic Advisory Services LLC. Osaic Advisory. Osaic Wealth and Osaic Advisory are separately owned, and other entities and/or marketing names, products, and services referenced here are independent of Osaic Wealth and Osaic Advisory.
The 6th annual Hales Corners Hometown Boat Show is on now at MW Marine. Check out the newest fishing boats from Lund, Vexus, and Ranger, all powered by Mercury Outboards. Grab a gorgeous 2026 model or save big on remaining 2025 Mercury-powered boats with substantial rebates. Demand is high, so get to MW Marine today. Free parking and free admission. Don't miss the Hometown Boat Show at MW Marine, MWMarine.com.
Day after day, year after year, the heavy lifting, the repetitive motion, and now your body feels it. Your back, your knees, your quality of life.
At Access Legal, we stand up for people worn down by work.
Workers' comp is our sole focus, and our team has recovered more than $35 million for Wisconsin workers. From sudden accidents to pain that builds over years of hard work, we're dedicated to fighting for the benefits you're entitled to. If you've been worn down by work, contact Access Legal for a risk-free consultation.
Search AXIS Legal today.
Planning for 2026 starts now. A new deck from Outdoor Living Unlimited is built to last. We are Wisconsin's #1 TimberTech deck installation team. For amazing ideas, go to our Outdoor Living Unlimited Instagram page. For a free estimate, go to OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
Start the new year off on a healthier note by taking active liver supplements from New Nordic every day. Available online at Amazon or newnordicusa.com or at your local CVS, ShopRite, Meijer Grocery, or Wegmans.
Traffic is sponsored by the famous Fox and Hounds restaurant near Holy Hill.
Buy one dinner, get one free tonight at the historic Fox and Hounds Supper Club, including steak and lobster. And desserts are buy one, get one free. Tables are open, foxandhoundsrestaurant.com.
Trusted, relevant, locally owned, locally programmed. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ Milwaukee.
It's 5:01. I'm Greg Matzek. This is Wisconsin's Afternoon News. It's Monday, January 19th. Your top story, Trump's tariffs threaten return.
I'm Jessica Tighe. A Bayside man faces charges for cyber stalking.
I'm Debbie Lazago. We do still have delays westbound 94 right through the stadium interchange all the way to about Hawley Road. On the eastbound side, we got delays from 76th Street to Hawley Road as well. We still have that fire on the off-ramp from northbound 43 to Hampton. Right at the end of that ramp, we've got a lot of fire trucks and crew on the scene. So give them a wide berth, try and avoid that area. We've also got southbound on the Rock Freeway right at the ramp from Racine Avenue, the right shoulder blocked with a crash. So that's going to tie things up a bit as well. I'm Debbie Lazago with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
Cold snap begins today and continues for the next several days. Partly cloudy overnight with snow moving in the evening. That'll be on Tuesday, as a matter of fact. So clear tonight. Windy, cold, wind chill 10 to 20 below zero. Air temperature 1 below zero. Partly cloudy, snow moving into the evening on Tuesday, high of 16 degrees. It's 2 and mainly clear in Milwaukee at 5:02. From the WTMJ Breaking Newsroom, all leaders of the 27 European Union nations will meet later this week in response to President Trump's campaign to acquire Greenland. ABC's Christiane Cordero.
Nonetheless, NATO allies are trying to say, essentially, we hear you loud and clear, and that's why we're sending reinforcements to the region. So we've seen several NATO countries send some military troops to build up the support, and then also noting that there's a longstanding treaty that allows the U.S. military to expand their presence there as well. We have a base in Greenland, right? But that hasn't really satisfied the administration. The administration is essentially saying that's not good enough and we need full control, and that's where things stand right now.
This comes after the President Trump announced tariffs on 8 NATO nations that recently sent troops to Greenland.
Stock futures in European markets are trading down as President Trump plans to impose a 10% tariff on Denmark and its allies as he ramps up pressure to acquire Greenland. Brian Jacobson from Aneth Wealth Management gives his perspective.
So it's not like it's a really, I think, an existential threat to the markets, but it is not exactly a vote of confidence that this is a good idea to use the tariffs.
The president says the tariffs will go into effect February 1st if a deal to buy Greenland isn't reached.
A federal judge rules that immigration officers in Minnesota cannot detain or tear gas peaceful protesters who are not obstructing authorities, including if they're observing agents. CBS News legal analyst Thane Rosenbaum.
The case was brought by 6 Minnesotans who contended that they were manhandled, pepper sprayed, and arrested by ICE agents for merely observing and criticizing the government's actions in rounding up suspected illegal immigrants. A federal district judge agreed, ruling that this amounted to retaliating against peaceful protesters. The DOJ is now appealing that ruling on the grounds that obstruction of justice takes many forms.
Government attorneys argue that the officers are acting within their legal authority to enforce immigration laws and protect themselves.
A man from Bayside faces federal cyber stalking charges. Investigators say he caused 2 people to fear for their lives. 41-year-old Bradley Rose is accused of using Apple iMessages to threaten 2 people across state lines. Those messages apparently included photos of hands holding guns, causing emotional stress dating back to May 2022. Rose has pleaded not guilty to all charges. If convicted, he faces up to 5 years in prison.
A Milwaukee arts culture staple gets a major upgrade and a new home. After more than 4 decades in River West, Woodland Pattern is moving to the former bindery space in Bayview. Co-executive director Laura Solomon on WTMJ.
For one thing, Woodland Pattern is a lot bigger of an organization than it was when it started. Even since we've gotten here, it was 5 employees in 2017, about 350 programs. We're now 8.5 employees and 500 programs.
The new home in Bayview also gives Woodland Pattern wheelchair accessibility.
Business closures continue to plague Milwaukee's east side. The poke restaurant Fresh Fin will close its flagship location on North Avenue at the end of January. Its other Milwaukee area locations in Glendale and Brookfield will remain open. This will mark the 7th business to close within a 3-block radius on the east side in 7 months.
The Bucks snap a 3-game losing streak in a thriller in Atlanta. Sports coming up next. Outdoor Living Unlimited. WTMJ News Time is 5:05.
If you've ever worried about your heart, if you've ever loved someone with heart disease, if you've ever wondered if you're the one at risk, let's remind ourselves that we are not powerless. Because at the Froedtert and the Medical College of Wisconsin Health Network, we're pushing to outsmart heart and vascular disease by working with you personally to understand your history, assess your risks, and guide you to heart strength. By digging deep with tireless research and offering access to leading-edge clinical trials. And for the most serious conditions, including heart failure, heart valve disease, arrhythmias, and vascular diseases, we provide renowned expertise and the most advanced life-saving procedures you expect from academic medicine. So let's get out in front of heart disease. Let's outsmart it. Let's keep pushing so that every one of us can outrun it and embrace every beautiful day life in Wisconsin has to offer. To learn more about our nationally renowned heart and vascular care, visit froedtert.com/heart.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here for Tri-County Contracting. You ever wonder how your house would look if it were a different color, or had a new roof, or maybe a splashy front door? Well, you can see for yourself just by going to TriCountyContractingWI.com. Add a photo of your house and design a new look. Then call them when you're ready. TriCountyContractingWI.com. It's worry-free roofing, siding, and windows. TriCountyContractingWI.com.
Ready to cruise Europe with a little sparkle? Celebrity Cruises and Fox World Travel bring you the Mediterranean with modern luxury, world-class dining, and unforgettable ports. From the French Riviera to the Greek Isles, think chic ships, breathtaking views, and days that feel like postcards come to life. Ready to cruise Europe in style? Call 866-GO-FOX-GO or visit foxworldtravel.com and let Celebrity Cruises turn your Mediterranean dreams into a stylish, sun-soaked reality.
Time for WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports desk. ESPN's Adam Schefter reporting the Dolphins are hiring former Packers defensive coordinator Jeff Hafley as their new coach, replacing Mike McDaniel. The Buffalo Bills fire head coach Sean McDermott after 9 seasons. Afternoon basketball in Atlanta. The Bucks take down the Hawks 112-110. 21 points for Giannis, 18 for A.J. Green.
Kevin Porter Jr. to Green. Green lets it fly, and he knocks down the three. A huge answer as A.J. gets the green light from distance. And the Bucks lead again by 2. 104-102. 123 to play.
And Dave Kane with the call. The Bucks had a 23-point advantage in this game, and the Hawks had a chance to tie or win the game at the buzzer. C.J. McCollum's mid-range jumper fell off the mark, and the Bucks snap a 3-game losing streak. Giannis named an all-star starter for the 10th consecutive season. And college football crowns a national champion tonight in Miami with the Miami Hurricanes taking on the Indiana Hoosiers.
Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 5:08.
Put a little wow in your winter at the 31st Annual Lake Geneva Winterfest and America's Snow Sculpting Invitational, January 28th through February 1st. Watch 15 top teams create breathtaking masterpieces in snow right before your very eyes. Enjoy bonfires on the beach, a kids' play area, live entertainment, and a sparkling downtown ice sculpture walk. Plan your Winterfest getaway at visitlakegeneva.com. Lake Geneva, where it's always been the place for winter magic.
Education changes everything. It opens doors, shapes futures, and builds the foundation for our children's success. At City Ford Collective, we're working to transform our city's schools and ensure every Milwaukee child receives the high-quality education they deserve. We've taken real steps forward, but our work is far from done. This giving season, we're asking you to join us. Together, we can secure a stronger future for our children and a stronger future for Milwaukee. To support our mission, visit cityforwardcollective.org/donate. That's cityforwardcollective.org/donate.
Wisconsin's afternoon news is on the air, broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue in beautiful downtown Milwaukee. Now, here are your hosts, Greg Matzek and Jessica Tighe.
1 hour to go here at Wisconsin's Midday News crew with you on Wisconsin's afternoon news until 6 o'clock. And,
yeah, people are like, wait, what time is it?
I know, yeah. But
Who's
myself,
this crew?
If looking at the clock, I was like, 5:10. Usually I'm getting dinner ready right around now. But you've got plans tonight, I imagine, which would be watching television.
Well, here's the thing. Yes, I am from Milwaukee. I root for the Bucks. I root for the Brewers. I root for the Packers. But when it comes to college sports, and we'll talk more about this coming up, I am a Hoosier at heart because I went to IU. So I don't know if you saw it, but I did bring in a hoodie, a red hoodie that maybe I can just throw on after this and run over there. I don't know if it fits, but it's definitely an IU shirt.
Well, Debbie, or you can get to Miami, right? You just get one of those little jets from the airport here, and you can be down there in time for the game to start.
Yeah, I don't think that'll happen.
Well, fair enough. It's 5:11 here on WTMJ.
Now it's time for the Big Finish at 5 on Wisconsin's afternoon news.
Number one, the search is ramping up on this MLK Day for the man who opened fire inside an iconic restaurant in New Orleans, a restaurant connected to Martin Luther King Jr. The shooting happened Friday night at Dookie Che's. That restaurant has been a mainstay in the Treme section of New Orleans for more than 70 years. One person was killed, 3 tourists were hurt, 1 critically. Police are now appealing to the public for help. The police superintendent in New Orleans, Ann Kirkpatrick, on the significance of that restaurant.
MLK, Martin Luther King Jr. himself used to gather upstairs in that restaurant to do peaceful marching. And what an incredible, unfortunate event for this weekend for that to have occurred.
The 19-year-old who was killed is a young man by the name of Kareem Harris. Investigators say he was the target. He was being shot at and ran into the restaurant to get away. And Greg, of course, you think about this man's family, but also then these 3 women, the tourists, all women. 2 were traveling from L.A., another from Florida. You think about it. You go to New Orleans, as many people do, to have a fun vacation, to get out and about. They think they're waiting in the main area as you start, waiting for a table before they get in. And then all of a sudden, somebody comes in and starts shooting.
Scary.
And their lives, especially for this one woman, one of them has been upgraded to stable condition, but one of them has very severe gunshot wounds, and it's not looking good. Change their lives in an instant, that's for sure, especially for the 19-year-old who is no longer with us. Right now, police are studying security video from nearby businesses as they try to identify the suspect.
Number 2, some things changing in Green Bay, some things staying the same. Matt LaFleur remains as Packers head coach, a multi-year contract extension signed after days of negotiations. LaFleur has led the Packers to the playoffs in 6 of his 7 seasons in Green Bay, but the team has lost in the wild card round each of the past 2 years. Still, the team is opting for stability over everything else. ESPN's Rob Domofsky
brings to mind something former Packers coach Mike Holmgren told me just a few weeks ago when I asked him about Jordan Love and his trajectory as a possible Super Bowl quarterback. Holmgren said if Love can stay with the same system and the same coach for a while, that helps. Holmgren added, LaFleur and those guys are doing a really good job, so Love is in a good spot. It was also evident that LaFleur had the support of the locker room. None other than Micah Parsons, their star defensive end, said that LaFleur was one of the reasons that he wanted to come to Green Bay.
Terms of LaFleur's deal have not been disclosed. People wondering, why hasn't this been announced officially by the team yet? What could be going on here?
Yeah, that happens a lot.
Well, it's also being reported that extensions for GM Brian Gutekunst and salary cap guru Russ Ball are also in the works. Wouldn't be surprised if they just made a joint announcement when all of these deals are done. But matter at hand now for Matt LaFleur is to find a new defensive coordinator because Jeff Hafley is reportedly going to become the next head coach of the Miami Dolphins. This is not a surprise. This is dot connecting 101. The GM of the Dolphins just hired a couple of weeks ago, John Eric Sullivan. He was the right-hand man to Brian Gutekunst in Green Bay the last several years. Been a part of the Packers staff since being an intern in 2002, for goodness sake. So he goes on to Miami, and he pulls Jeff Hafley into the mix. So not a surprise to see that made.
Number 3, we are now less than 90 minutes away from the national championship game for college football. The title is up for grabs in Miami tonight. It's the undefeated and top-seeded Indiana Hoosiers up against the University of Miami Hurricanes. The Hoosiers are going for their first ever football championship. Yes, the first ever. Indiana head coach Kurt Cignetti expects the Canes to come out fighting.
They really play the game with tenacity, intensity.
Miami's head coach says several key principles have gotten his team this far.
Being the most excited, the most energetic team on the field, and that pre-snap and post-snap discipline had to be at the forefront, and that ball security couldn't be compromised.
So kickoff for the championship game coming up at 6:30 tonight. And yes, I will be running out of here after the show. I grew up here in Milwaukee, but when it comes to college sports, I cheer for the Hoosiers because I went to IU for journalism.
How many years have you had that hoodie? Or was that a new purchase?
I don't know. I think this was a new purchase. Okay, for those of you on streaming, I brought this so I can change into this hoodie.
That's nice.
It's not too faded these days. I don't know if it fits. I'm hoping so. But here's the thing. We were always terrible at football. So this is a really big deal. Remember, too, basketball is king in Indiana. So Hoosiers are extra pumped about this, including this guy who flew down to Miami for tonight's championship game.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is John, and I like to have fun everywhere I go. I'm going to the national championship game, and this won't be the greatest flight of my life if I can't get a Hoosier Riley cry out of you guys. At least some of you. All right? And it sounds like this. Hoosiers! All right? Now, if you're rooting for Miami, find me after the game, and I'll buy you a beer to drown your sorrows.
Okay, that just cracked me up. My name is John, and I like to have fun everywhere I go. That is so good. Well, John succeeded.
I need you to say it loud. I need you to say it proud. 1, 2, 3. Hoosiers! Thank you!
Thank you, he says. Go Hoosiers.
Well, there you go. The game is in Miami, by the way. But I have a feeling the state of Indiana is also going to be in Miami. So if it feels like a home field advantage, well, it should. But I get the idea there's going to be a lot of red down there.
Oh, there is so much red. So this is a blast. One of my girlfriends, like one of my good friends from back in the day at IU, she put together this text thread. All of a sudden it came through. I thought, what is this? It almost looked like a scam because the emoji was just the football emoji, and it said IU champs. So I thought it was, or maybe they're looking, a donation. Hey, alum, we're looking for donations, something like that. But it was one of our friends who got all of these people together on the text thread. And so now it's just a blast. You've got pictures of people at the bars, waiting for the game. I have video of people down at another spot doing the IU fight song. And there is a ton of red out there down in Miami.
That's going to be exciting to watch, no doubt. Another guy who likes to have fun wherever he goes is WTMJ's Adam Roberts. He's in our studio with an interesting development in the company brewing, closing and subsequent reopening. Some controversy brewing. We'll talk about it after this.
Healthy joints, healthy lifestyle. Vince Vetrano for Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Arthritis, injuries, wear and tear, common joint issues that keep you from doing what you love. At OAW, a visit to the doctor doesn't always mean surgery. Everyone is different. Surgeons, nurses, physical therapists work together to come up with a plan for you. Maybe it's PT, medication, injection, and if you do need surgery like I did, you're in the best of hands. Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, there is a difference. Book an appointment online at orthowisconsin.com.
Winter would be pretty bleak without my friends at Fleet Farm. They're my one-stop shop for everything ice fishing. My boots, bibs, augers, scoopers, rods, reels. Fleet Farm's got all the best ice fishing gear. Hook, line, and sinker. And duct tape, too, if you need it. You'll always need it. Take it from me, John Gillespie. Fleet Farm's got everything you need to gear up for a great year on the ice.
Prizes, flyaways, even cash money. You want it? We've got it. Find a list of all contests and official rules by visiting WTMJ.com/contests.
That's WTMJ.com/contests.
There's only one store that gives you every possible choice in diamonds.
Welcome to Kessler's.
Traffic sponsored by Mission 94 Firearms Education Center. Half off all memberships when you sign up in January.
From those with no experience to firearms enthusiasts, all are welcome at Mission 94 Firearms Education Center. Sign up in January and receive 50% off all memberships. Just Google Mission 94.
Traffic and weather at 5:19. Our check-in with Debbie Lonziga. Hi, Deb.
Hey there. Southbound 43 on the Rock Freeway, right at the ramp from Racine Avenue. Looks like we've got a crash off on the right shoulder, so watch out for that. Luckily, volume's relatively light through that area, so I'm not seeing too many issues. Just something to keep in mind. Westbound 94 tightening up right through the stadium past Mitchell Boulevard. On the eastbound side, a little bit heavy, just basically between 70th Street and Hawley Road, so it's not even a huge spot. Otherwise, we're looking pretty good. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
Bitter cold temperatures the rest of the day and, well, really the rest of the month. Now, we do warm up to 16 tomorrow, but those morning wind chills going to be below zero. Wednesday's high in the mid-20s, but again, morning wind chills in the single digits to below zero. Chance of snow rapidly developing here. It's starting to grow, this little weather system. So Tuesday into Wednesday could bring about decent spattering of snow. We'll get more updated totals on that idea with Brian Nisnansky coming up at about 5:35. It's 3 degrees and mainly clear in Milwaukee at 5:20. So there's been quite a bit of evolution in the Milwaukee brewery scene, including the recent and somewhat abrupt closing of Company Brewing, which is in the River West neighborhood. This happened in May of 2024. So you've got this brewery. It's kind of just sitting there. They've got equipment. It's a nice space, good-sized space. And people trying to figure out, well, what the heck is going to go in here next? Well, it started off as a brewery, as I noted, Company Brewing, and there is a new idea to put in more of a sports bar. So food, TVs, watch the game, hang out, not just a specific brewery, Jessica, but sort of a gathering place for all comers, right? But more of a sports bar theme versus a brewery theme.
Well, here's the thing. When you have a business that goes out, people are always pumped to see what's going to come in. And you also, these days, you keep your fingers crossed that something is going to come in, because the last thing you want in your neighborhood is a vacant spot for years and years.
Well, there's a couple of points of contention here. We welcome in WTMJ's Adam Roberts, who's been following this story. Let's start first with the idea that brewery could turn into a sports bar, Adam, and the ownership group. There was an issue with the ownership group that sparked a bit of controversy.
A couple of them, Greg. But first, the idea of this place would be called Diaspora MKE. That's the tentative name of this, as you called it, a sports bar. If you text watch to our talk and text line, I took some pictures during a neighborhood meeting event at this place last Thursday. So this ownership group consists of a lot of guys who were Omega Psi Phi fraternity brothers at UW Milwaukee over the course of the last few decades. But there was a sixth owner who was an active duty Milwaukee police officer, which generated a conflict of interest. If you have a uniformed MPD officer running a business, that could create a possible problem if there's an issue at the business, health code violations, and you have someone enforcing the law who's also on the payroll as a stockholder of a business. Well, that owner, according to this ownership group, has since been bought out, so he's no longer on the roster. It's now 5 owners. There is, however, another issue with ownership, and that is the issue that a man named Marvin Bailey is one of the owners. He used to co-own a group called Flame 13. It was a restaurant on King Drive, just south of North Avenue, which notably shut down in September after a massive brawl broke out outside of the business that July before during an influencer event. They'd reached capacity, people were upset they couldn't get in, and a fight broke out on King Drive. The business then shut down in September. So you have these issues with ownership that neighbors brought to this meeting that I was at on Thursday. And Bailey was also there and had a chance to speak his piece on what he's learned since the Flame 13 incident.
Very poor planning, never do anything half-cocked. You got to put the work into it. I know these gentlemen for 30 plus years. I know their character and I know what they're capable of. And then they have the ability to hold me accountable. I take full responsibility for it because I was there. I'm not going to shuck that responsibility. I'm not going to put it all on him. But this gentleman asked me, what did I learn? You have to vet your partners. You have to know who you're going into business with. And you have to be present at all times.
There's been a few other issues as well that neighbors brought up. You know, your typical noise complaints. Is this going to run until bar time? But as you mentioned, this building and this establishment has been a brewery / bar for almost 20 years prior to right now.
Well, that's what I was interested in that and wondering how the neighbors in the area feel, because I think it's one thing when you have a brewery, a craft brewery that maybe is open until 10. Some of them are a little longer, but they don't all have long hours. But then you bring in sports bar and lounge, and that just kind of gets a different feel to it, right? And could have the later hours. What are the neighbors most concerned about right now?
It's right there, I think, as you alluded to, Jessica, this idea that our previous business, Company Brewing, Anopa, Stonefly, whatever it was, usually was all shut down, doors locked, everyone's out, it's quiet after about 10. But there's language in the application, even though the owners have said, we don't want to run a nightclub. We're not looking to run something where we're going until 2:30 a.m. But there's specific language in what they applied for that said, we're applying for nightclub permissions. We're applying for lounge permissions. So it's these issues, and then they also want to smoke cigars. You have, in River West, a lot of homes very closely compacted together, right on top of the business in some cases. So that also was brought up. It's a really interesting dichotomy of the whole process of getting a business started. It's not just as cut and dry as, I have an idea, my alderperson says, cool, the council approves it, and we're going. There's a lot of layers that go through whenever you want to start any business, big or small.
What's the next step in the proceedings here?
So the license committee will meet on the 27th. They actually had their license up for approval earlier this month, but that Milwaukee police officer issue stalled things out. So the committee will meet again on the 27th. Then they would need to get approved by the Common Council, which after that would meet on the 13th of February, which is important because when I talked to the owners, they had wanted to open in time for the Super Bowl, which is February 8th, but the dates don't quite line up there for what has to happen first. So I'd say earliest, probably late February, early March, if everything goes according to plan, was when they'd open.
Yeah, interesting story here. WTMJ's Adam Roberts covering. We appreciate it, Adam. Thank you.
Thanks, Adam.
You bet.
526 on WTMJ News coming up in just a few.
Don't just get a ride, build a travel experience together with KB Excursions. Vince Vitrano here for this family-owned business. Custom designing travel for your major event or just a night out. Luxury motor coach service, or for smaller groups, the beautiful Mercedes Sprinter, leather seats, TV, whole setup, golf trip, wedding party, night on the town, ride to the ball game. And with personal service from Khalid, Amy, and the KB Excursions team, getting there will be half the fun. KBExcursions.com.
You want to feel important. You want to be a part of something bigger, something that matters and can help change things. You want to feel like you belong. We know. We felt that way too. And that's why we did something about it. We aren't just Army National Guard soldiers. We are normal people just like you. And together, we can make a difference. Take on your legacy. Visit NationalGuard.com to find out more.
Sponsored by the Wisconsin Army National Guard. Aired by the Wisconsin Broadcasters Association and this station.
WTMJ's Julia Fellow here for the Waters of Pewaukee. When you visited a loved one over Christmas, did you notice something different? Maybe they're having trouble keeping up at home. Joining us now is Jennifer LeBoy with the Waters of Pewaukee. Jennifer, I'm so glad you're with us.
Thank you, Julia.
So when families notice their loved one may have been struggling at home, it can feel overwhelming. Is that common?
I hear this all of the time. Families often see changes in routine. They see some clutter around the home. Maybe their loved one's missing meals, difficulty managing their personal care. Recognizing it is an important first step, and the Waters of Pewaukee is definitely here to help.
When we notice that, what should we do next?
First of all, trust your instincts. Even small observations matter. Supporting a loved one isn't just about care. It's about helping them thrive with safety and dignity and independence.
This was our experience because my mother-in-law, we felt guilty, like we were going behind her back. Is that normal?
It is. It's very common, Julia. But exploring support is an act of love, protecting their safety, their dignity, and quality of life. And we guide families with compassion so no one feels alone.
And many people still picture assisted living as clinical or cold. What does day-to-day life really look like at the Waters of Pewaukee?
It's very, very personalized. So a lot of it is what maybe you have been doing at home for your loved one. So we can provide that extra support with help with medications, showering, daily routines, while helping them maintain their independence and their choices.
What reactions do families have when they first tour the Waters of Pewaukee?
Their reaction is, this is exactly what Mom and Dad deserve. Seeing the community, our attention to detail, and how residents are supported brings relief and hope and confidence.
Before we go, how can people learn more or schedule a visit?
Please visit thewaters.com to learn more and, of course, schedule a tour with me.
That's thewaters.com. Jennifer LeBoy with the Waters of Pewaukee. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Julia.
Welcome to The Knowledge Brokers, a weekly feature covering the dynamics of the insurance market and how it affects Wisconsin businesses and residents. Sponsored by the original knowledge broker, R&R Insurance. And joining me today is Jeff Salazinski, Executive Vice President of Insurance Operations. Jeff, the insurance industry dynamic as ever. I always believe that you really enjoy what you do when we talk, genuinely who you work for as well. So let's keep this rapid-fire theme up. I'm going to fire a few questions at you, get your thoughts.
Great, Vince. Let's go.
Okay, what types of positions is R&R Insurance looking for these days?
Vince, at our core, we're a sales organization. Commercial insurance, employee benefits insurance, and personal insurance. A well-trained, disciplined professional can make a great career in our industry. Well-paid, flexible schedules, and working inside a culture-driven, client-focused family business. It truly is great.
Any other roles you're looking to fill right now?
We have thousands of clients, and we talk a lot about our client focus. Service positions at R&R can be really rewarding as well. Paid licensing and training, a strong mentorship program, employee development planning, and we put a lot of investment into our service professionals too.
Okay, but we're talking about insurance, right?
Vince, I work for a family company with a 50-year history, the third generation running the business, where every day is focused on remaining independent, and our business model is thriving in this environment. Yes, Vince, it is insurance, but it's also a fantastic career choice. We work every day to make R&R Insurance a destination for the industry's best talent.
Okay, so if someone heard something they like here, they're interested in learning more. What's the next step?
Go to our website, myknowledgebroker.com. My profile's out there. Look at it and give me a call. Very simply, Vince, if you're looking for a better insurance purchasing experience or a great new career opportunity, we'd love to speak with you. At R&R Insurance, we know great careers and we know business insurance.
That's Jeff from R&R Insurance. Thanks for the great info, Jeff.
This report sponsored by the Milwaukee Boat Show at State Fair Park. It feels like summertime at the Milwaukee Boat Show at State Fair Park. Register outside the show to win an HO Sports Beacon kayak, courtesy of Skipper Buds. Milwaukee Boat Show at State Fair Park.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on Wisconsin's radio station, News Radio WTMJ.
It's 5:31. I'm Greg Matzek. Your top story: President Trump touts his peace plan for Gaza.
I'm Jessica Tighe, a special guest speaker in town for MLK Day.
I'm Debbie Lazaga. Westbound on 94, still seeing some delays through the stadium interchange past the Mitchell Boulevard area. Eastbound's just got a little bit of a backup from 76th Street to Hawley Road. Other than that, we're looking pretty good. I'm Debbie Lazaga with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
So excited to tell you about the weather there. Bitter cold. I don't know why I was excited. Windy. 10 to 20 below zero wind chill. That's tonight. Tuesday, partly cloudy. Snow moving in the evening hours. That could be a thing. We'll talk to Niz about that coming up in just a few minutes. Partly cloudy on Tuesday, a high of just 16 degrees. It's 2 degrees with clouds in Milwaukee at 5:32. President Trump has big plans while in Switzerland this week for the World Economic Summit.
According to a U.S. official, the president wants to have a signing ceremony in Davos on Thursday for his Board of Peace. While the board was created to oversee the next phase of the Gaza peace plan, he thinks it should be more than that and is said to be contemplating whether it could be a rival to the UN. It's still unclear how many nations have been invited to be on the board, but France has said it will not join at this stage, citing concerns over UN principles and structure. Stacey Lynn, CBS News, Washington.
A former treasurer for an American Legion post in Brookfield is facing felony charges.
Court records show 72-year-old Darlene Baychek is charged with felony theft in a business setting involving more than $10,000 and felony identity theft to obtain money or credit. Prosecutors say she took more than $46,000 from American Legion Post 449 between 2018 and 2024 through unauthorized withdrawals and checks. A judge set a $5,000 signature bond for her release. Her next court appearance is February 13th. Nazir Spencer, WTMJ News.
Another grocery store is leaving the northwest side of Milwaukee. Century Foods near 64th and Silver Spring planning to close this week after the store opened less than 3 years ago to fill a food desert. This comes after an Aldi store closed just 2 miles away last week, and Sherman Park Grocery is struggling to stay open about 4 miles away. The closures mean the closest major grocery store for thousands of Milwaukee residents in that area could be an hour-long walk or 30-minute bus ride away.
The state is increasing awareness about human trafficking and how to stop it.
2 years ago, the DOJ introduced the Wisconsin Anti-Human Trafficking Task Force, which aims to investigate cases statewide and support survivors. In 2024, there were over 100 human trafficking cases reported in Wisconsin, a majority of them involving sex trafficking of adult women. Wisconsin Attorney General Josh Call says if you suspect trafficking, document as much information as possible and contact law enforcement immediately. As part of Human Trafficking Prevention Month, the task force is hosting several webinars this week to connect survivors with resources. Neil Doyle, WTMJ News.
Scammers are increasingly taking over online accounts, locking consumers out of email and financial platforms. State consumer officials say the problem is growing fast and costing victims time, money, and peace of mind. DATCAP consumer protection expert Michelle Reinen tells WTMJ.
Seen information from the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the FBI, where they've issued warnings about account takeover fraud, receiving more than 5,000 complaints in 2025 and reported losses exceeding $262 million. So this is real. It is impacting many individuals across the nation.
Reinen urges consumers to act quickly if they lose access to an account.
To commemorate this MLK Day, Milwaukee Area Technical College welcomes the goddaughter of Dr. King.
Donzale Abernathy remembers MLK as Uncle Martin.
He taught us how to jump up and down on the bed. He was playful. He loved to laugh. He had a sense of joy inside of him, but he didn't want people to understand or see all that part of him.
Abernathy has spent her life sharing stories from growing up in the center of the civil rights movement, because the fight for freedom is never over.
I am the great-granddaughter of slaves, so slavery wasn't that long ago, and unfortunately, it could happen again.
Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports desk. ESPN's Adam Schefter reporting the Miami Dolphins are hiring Packers defensive coordinator Jeff Hafley as their new head coach, replacing Mike McDaniel. The Buffalo Bills fire head coach Sean McDermott after 9 seasons. Afternoon hoops for the Bucks in Atlanta. They take down the Hawks 112-110, 21 points for Giannis. Giannis named an all-star starter for the 10th consecutive season. College basketball tonight. Marquette continues Big East play against Providence. Coverage underway on 94.5 ESPN. And in college football, it's Miami against Indiana tonight in the college football playoff national championship game.
Go IU. How much longer will this cold weather last? Brutal temps, dangerous temps. We'll find out next. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 5:36.
Wisconsin's afternoon news is here for you, bringing you the latest headlines with John McCure.
Let's start with violent crime in general. Significant decreases in violent crime in our city. Down, if you look at the categories, 22%.
And diving into the details with Julia Fellow.
President Trump yesterday just announced his own plan to help Americans pay for health insurance.
Tune in to Wisconsin's afternoon news, where your day's story unfolds. Weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. Only here on WTMJ.
My husband's an animal in bed.
Well, you know.
Not in the fun way. Think warthog. With a chainsaw.
Snoring and sleep apnea affect over 90 million people, and 1 out of 4 couples sleep in separate rooms. Advent can help. We've been Milwaukee's one-stop solution for nasal congestion, snoring, and sleep apnea for over 20 years. Unlike many other practices, we focus exclusively on these conditions, so you get comprehensive care under one roof. Advent's unique approach can help you breathe and sleep better, and many avoid a CPAP. Plus, most insurance is accepted for our effective 20-minute in-office treatments.
Hey, the only animal you want in your bed is your dog.
Advent. Sleep better. Sleep together. Learn how you can improve your life at adventknows.com.
Wisconsin's afternoon news on WTMJ.
Well, no thunder in the forecast, but bitter cold temperatures and potentially some snow here developing tomorrow night. This is kind of a recent update here from the National Weather Service. We check in with WTMJ Chief Meteorologist Brian Niznansky. Hey, Niz.
Yo, what's going on, guys? Yeah, some tomorrow night. I think enough again that shoveling again, and it probably will end up being more of an impactful snow than what we dealt with over the weekend.
Yeah, so nuisance snow is how I would describe the snow of the last few days. Like just enough to kind of make things slippery enough. And I don't know if you need to get like the plow out, but you want to make sure you shovel and get the salt down. It's kind of annoying, but you're thinking it might be a little more this time?
I think so, yeah. I think most of the area is probably in line for about 2 to 4 inches of snow, and it would be very light and fluffy, but certainly enough that you'd have to get out there and clean up. So that arrive, I would say, after 7 o'clock Tuesday evening, and then continue through Tuesday night, and pretty much wrapping up by the morning commute on Wednesday. But Wednesday morning's commute could be a little bit slippery.
Well, light and fluffy is nice when you have to get out there and you have to shovel it, but it still can make the roads a disaster. In fact, last night, we didn't get that much, and that happens here in Wisconsin. It doesn't have to be a ton of snow to make the roads a mess. I just went to Target, probably a 15, maybe 16-minute drive, not a big deal, but it was slick on the side roads. And then there was some guy in the parking lot doing donuts real fast. I was like, man, stay away from my car.
Oh, I think we maybe lost Niz.
him.
Might be doing Niz. You doing donuts on your own? What are you doing out there? Yeah, I think we lost our meteorologist friend. He's going to call in on the phone here. But yeah, no, I totally get your point.
I mean, it was one of those things where that would never be me. I could never put myself in that driver's shoes because I'd never be out there in a public parking lot doing donuts with other people around. I mean, he was in, okay, this is the one, Miller Parkway, that one where there's a ton of parking, and then there's like the back spot where people park. So it's not like there were a ton of cars around him. But still, the guy was just going around, speed, circle, donut. And I thought, oh, my goodness. Some people like to do that. And here, in the meantime, I was going as slow as I possibly could just to make sure. It was slick. It was slick.
It's how I learned to drive. I remember going to a movie theater parking lot. It was snowing out. My dad said, here's what I want you to do. I want you to just get a feel for the vehicle. So we went to a movie theater parking lot. Nobody was really in that parking lot, and he had me sort of turn the car and adjust speed and just try and get a feel for what that car would do. This, I'm guessing, was a little different than that.
Oh, interesting. That reminds me, too. We just went down a very strange path now that we lost Niz for a moment there. My stepmom, when I was learning how to drive, this was not in the winter because my birthday's in July, but we went into a cemetery because it was one of those spots. There was nobody ever there. And I feel bad saying this because we probably shouldn't have, I guess. I was 16 at the time. I didn't think the same. But I kind of learned how to drive, not a ton, just once or twice, but over in the cemetery.
Okay.
Not in the cemetery, of course, but on the roads.
There's paved areas. That's okay.
I know. Is it? I don't know. It sounds weird when I say it out loud.
Well, we got Niz back, so we'll move on. Niz, welcome back.
Yeah, where did I leave off there?
I know.
Basically, yeah, no, I mean, you were talking about how it wasn't much snow, but just because of how cold it's been, like the salt does not really do much on the roadways at this cold of temperatures. So the good news is when the snow arrives tomorrow night, I think we're at least into the double digits, if not the 20s. So that should help out road, clearing treatment, but it will be slippery tomorrow night.
And speaking of those cold temps, it looks like we are in for cold temps for almost the long haul here. I noticed Wednesday has a high temp of 25, but other than that, how cold is it going to be and for how long?
Yeah, I hate to say it, but the brief warm-up that we do see midweek will be very brief. By Thursday, especially Thursday night into Friday, it looks like we really tap into some Arctic air. So, you can follow the air like a stream for the most part, at least, 4 or 5 days out. And you can see that a trough digs down, and really we have a direct pipeline all the way to the Arctic Circle. So what that tells you is that you're just going to have some extremely cold air. And we're talking probably wind chills Friday morning, like in the minus 35 range. And if that pans out, that would be extreme cold warning criteria, and that would be enough to cancel school.
Yeah,
so,
that's nasty.
Yeah, it's brutal. It really is. And it looks like it's still cold all the way through the weekend, but the peak of the next round of cold would be Friday morning. So if you have kids with kids that go to school, I would be on your toes for a plan on Friday to have them home.
Well, there's really no reprieve. I mean, I guess you talk Wednesday about it being 25, but you're still looking at, morning wind chills and maybe evening wind chills below zero. So I'd hardly call that a warm-up. I guess technically it is, but, but is there really any break of this until the end of the month that you see?
Yeah, so next week, after the weekend, there's a sign of things leveling off again, but staying either average or below average. So I'm not seeing a big thaw. I'm not seeing, like a significant warm up. I mean, it really does look like the dead of winter type stuff, which, I mean, on average, this is the coldest time of the year. It's just, today and much of the forecast will be even well below average.
Okay, I feel like I already know the answer, but I'm going to ask. There's all this talk about this severe geomagnetic storm. And we are one of, I think 24 states that could see the northern lights. But obviously we need the weather to cooperate. This goes, they're saying visible tonight through tomorrow. Any chance we see them?
Yeah, I think there's a chance. Yeah, so there's two parts of the equation to this, obviously, is the cloud cover. We will have some thin cloud cover, but enough that we'll see the stars, and you should be able to see the northern lights if there is a decent show with it. Now, with that said, there's a lot of times where you have all the triggers, all the signs, G4 geomagnetic storm, KP level at an 8 for tonight. So all those things are measurements of actual energy coming from the sun and entering our atmosphere. Now, I am not a Northern Lights expert, but I do know enough that there are times when even though everything lines up, it just doesn't happen. And I don't have a good answer as to why it doesn't happen. It just is extremely hard to predict. I think it's worth giving it a look. If you're outside of the city lights, give it a try tonight.
Okay. I was worried about the clouds, so I'm happy to hear that. Some good news there.
Niz, remind us here. So you were kind of breaking up when we were talking about the snow. Can you remind us of the timing of what you think could happen tomorrow into Wednesday?
Sure. So tonight, everything is quiet. It's just going to be cold. Tomorrow during the day, dry. It's tomorrow night that I would say after 7 o'clock, snow moves in. I think 2 to 4 inches of snow for most of the area, maybe a little bit less to the north, but a decent snow again that wraps up by Wednesday morning for the morning commute. However, I do think things will be slippery Wednesday morning. Then a brief warm up Wednesday, Thursday, and it's Thursday night comes the Arctic front, and by Friday morning we are in some serious cold, guys.
All right, good stuff. We'll brace for it. TMJ4 meteorologist Brian Niznansky joining us. Thanks, Brian.
Thanks, Niz.
You bet, guys. We'll see you.
You bet. 546 on WTMJ, 2 degrees and mostly clear skies.
Hey, this is WTMJ Steve Scavidi. If you're about to or just considering selling your business, you're likely experiencing a flood of questions and new priorities. In this new interactive webinar, Annex Wealth Management's Anthony Malachnik and Brian Lamborn will join me, Steve Scavidi, discussing many of the key questions you may be asking, including who you should consult with, what tasks you should prioritize, and when you're ready to make that move. Join me, Steve Scavidi, Anthony, and Brian for this informative webinar. Go to annexwealth.com, click on the Events tab to join.
How much does it cost to talk to Gruber Law Offices after a serious crash? It's free. Yes, free. As in it won't cost you anything to speak with us. Not sure if you have a case? Call our team at Gruber Law Offices today. Your first call and your first consultation are always free. And you'll never pay us a fee until we win your case. If you've been seriously injured, call Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
At Mission 94, you told us what mattered most, and we listened. Starting January 1st, our memberships are redesigned and streamlined for individuals, couples, families, and our heroes in law enforcement, the military, and first responders. Every level now includes free range time every day, plus advanced reservations so you can shoot when it works for you. Already a member? You can keep your current plan or upgrade anytime. And if you purchase anytime in January, all memberships are 50% off. Mission 94, your membership, your way. Just Google Mission 94.
Since 1956, the Adair name has stood for craftsmanship, honesty, and taking care of people the right way. I'm Austin Adair.
And I'm Chelsea.
My grandparents started this company with nothing but hard work and pride in every single job. My parents carried that legacy forward, and today, my wife and I are proud to continue it as third generation of Adair Floors and Remodeling. This isn't just a business to us. It is our family name, our reputation, and our promise to you. At Adair Floors and Remodeling, we help homeowners upgrade with confidence. Whether you need luxury vinyl plank, hardwood, carpet, tile, or a full remodel, our team handles everything from design to installation. Quality products, professional crews, clear communication, and results you'll love. That's what 3 generations have built and what we stand behind every single day. Visit Adair Floors and Remodeling today at our large showroom located in Franklin, or give us a call at 414-761-3660 for a free estimate. Adair Floors and Remodeling. 3 generations, 1 standard.
Keeping you updated on culture and creativity. What's on Tap with Sandy Max.
When music is that much of a part of your life, it's part of you.
I can do digital, but I really prefer film. It's the equivalent of vinyl versus CD.
I sort of put together my theater writing hat and my songwriting hat and made one big hat.
This is a mega musical with a capital M.
Weeknights at 6 on WTMJ and the What's on Tap podcast on WTMJ.com.
Traffic sponsored by Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center in Waukesha. Whatever the weather, visit WisconsinIndoorGolfCenter.com.
Tee off the new year with a two-man scramble at Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center. Play the legendary Kapalua Plantation course on their state-of-the-art simulators. Sign up now to win cash prizes. Must play by January 31st.
One final look at the roads, one final check-in with Debbie Lonziga. Hi, Deb.
Hey there. Yeah, everything is looking a lot better now. We just have a little bit of an eastbound 94 backup from 76th Street heading towards Hawley Road, and that's pretty much it. Everything else is looking pretty good. Road conditions are also looking pretty good so far, so we're in good shape right now for the rest of the evening. I'm Debbie Lonziga with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic.
A local designer here in Milwaukee just got a call that many small business owners only dream about. The Milwaukee Bucks reached out with an idea. Let's collaborate. The result? His brand, Lost Files, ended up inside the Bucks Pro Shop and even on the team's official online store. The founder of Lost Files, Esteban Longoria, joins us live in the studio to explain how a collab with the Bucks works and what it's meant for his business. Thanks so much for being here. First, can you take us to that moment when the Bucks reach out? How did they learn about you, and what were you thinking when they called?
So I've actually been trying to set this up for like 3 years now. So it's been a long time coming. But they initially reached out on LinkedIn. They got a hold of me there, and we kind of took it from there.
So the Bucks have always been, I think, under new ownership, really committed to local, anything local, right? They want to highlight and showcase local artists, local anything, local food at Fiserv Forum. I'm sure you're aware of that as you make that reach out, but how does it start? How do you get your work in front of them to the point where you're actually on the phone or in person collaborating on what your future ideas will be?
So I think it's had to start with us building a good base and like looking like an actual business. From there, you can kind of show them almost like proof of concept a bit, and then, they kind of make their decision from there.
Okay, so we have some awesome pictures, too, that you put on your social media feeds. We've got some pictures from your Instagram that really show this collab in full. And actually, you're wearing one of the pieces, too, for people streaming right now. Can you take us into this collaboration with the Bucks? How does it work from the idea to the finished project? Because I imagine there are a lot of steps to it.
Yeah, so we started the process. I mean, they initially reached out last November. So it's like 13 months in total of, kind of working through different designs and everything. But I mean, the first step was figuring out like what we really wanted, and they kind of like let me have a lot of creative freedom in, creating all the designs because they loved what Lost Files was and like the direction we were going with everything.
So what is that brand identity all about, Lost Files? What does that mean? What does that mean to you? What should that mean to our fans and listeners who are unaware of what it is that you do?
So I like to call it Midwest streetwear. So I think like, I wouldn't say my background, but I got into clothes through streetwear. So I kind of wanted to bring over those same concepts, but mix in a lot of what was more natural to me and like people around me, which was just being from the Midwest. So incorporating that, within our designs, our color schemes, and just a lot of the stuff we do in like different types of branding.
So you mentioned that you had a lot of creative control with this Bucks collab. What did you have to at some point, though, sit down with them and say, here's my design, and did they give you any hints or say, can we tweak this a little bit? Kind of let us dive into that world a little bit more.
Yeah, so we actually went through like 3 completely different like design concepts. So it wasn't, I didn't get the green light right away. So we did one that we kind of had to, do a big revision on, and did another that had to have a big revision. And then that last one was essentially completely different than the previous 2. So, but I'm glad we landed on what we did because that one felt like the most just the perfect mesh of both Lost Files and the Milwaukee Bucks.
And it's a trick, right? Because you've got your brand identity and brand guidelines, and so do the Bucks, right?
Yeah.
See, and they're very different, I'm sure. So meshing those, it does take some rounds of revision, right?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, it was, again, like that last one, like felt perfect. Like, okay, this is the one that meshes those the best, and like with just from everything, from the graphics, the colors, the font types, and everything like that, and just even the assortment of pieces. Like that one felt the best mesh of both of those.
It felt perfect. That sounds amazing, right? Because this is something with, and take me back to this, but wasn't it you and your brother who were chatting initially years ago when you started this company about if only we could collab with this group, that it would be the Bucks? Yeah. So when we initially started it, we always talk about collaborating because that's huge in the streetwear space. So we thought of, who is the most realistic collaboration we could get that would mean the most to us and just be the best fit for us. And I think it was easily the Milwaukee Bucks, since we're huge Bucks fans, but they had the Bucks and Six line that was kind of just starting up at the time that we were getting going as well. And we were like, man, that would be perfect if we were able to do a collection with them. And some years down the line, that ended up happening. So how do you describe the collection? And for people who aren't streaming right now, can you tell us about some of the pieces? Yeah, so it was 4 pieces in total. It was a green corduroy hat. And again, I think the material of that hat it fits perfectly. It's green corduroy. It's a thick material. It's not like a regular canvas hat that you would typically find. It just feels more Midwest. And then we did 3 tops. So it was a cream T-shirt with a Deer in the Woods graphic. It was a green pullover hoodie with a cool Bucks logo on the front with a larger graphic on the back. And then finally the knitwear. So this is one that this is not the Bucks one, but the Bucks one is very similar to this because this one did so well for us. And again, just being able to mesh those two, that was the perfect final piece for that collection.
You got that cream city sort of color going on with it, right?
Yep.
And blend into the green. And the Bucks kind of go off kilter a little bit. Some of those blues. Did you kind of stay away from that part of the color scheme because it maybe didn't fit what you typically do?
So it was funny. In the beginning, I was trying to get some of the vintage red and green, from the 70s, because they gave me their entire brand asset guide. And I had a ton of fun just going through that, and seeing all that stuff. But at the end, we settled on the brown, the green, and the cream, those being the main colors of the collection. And again, like I said, those were a perfect mix of what we do and stuff we would just release by ourselves. And, obviously their brand colors as well. A really cool photo shoot that you had to kind of promote these pieces as well. Looked like it was out in the woods and the snow had fallen. Did you do that yourself, or did the Bucks have anything to do with snapping those shots? Yeah, that was all them. It was so cool because it snowed the day before that photo shoot took place, and it was perfect. It worked out so cool. I was telling them that photo shoot was amazing.
All right, so my favorite logo of the Milwaukee Bucks is Bango wearing a sweater, twiddling a ball on his hoof, I guess.
Yeah.
That's the right word. I would love to see Bango wearing one of your sweaters in that, right? That seems to be a perfect match.
Yeah, I mean, so that was the first set of logos that we toyed with was that 70s Bango with the bee sweater. Those are really cool. We just didn't end up making it to the final production. So what kind of impact did this collaboration with the Bucks have on your business? I mean, it was huge. So what's cool is we collaborated with the Bucks in December, and then in the summer we actually did a T-shirt giveaway with the Brewers as well. So this year alone has we've 5x'd our orders from Wisconsin, compared to any other year we've had before. So it's been so cool just to see all those orders come in from people around here. People we have before this, a lot of our customers were from the East. You guys.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Business headline sponsored by the Pfister Hotel. Make your reservations today. Visit thepfisterhotel.com.
Afternoon tea at the Pfister is your invitation to indulge in a moment